Hello. This is session 16 of the seasonal arc, with a title that will be revealed at a later date. I'm Clint, I'm the DM. Today I have with me my best boys, my goodest boys, my most committed boys.
I'm Kevin, I play Domino, the human fighter / monk.
I'm Andrew playing Uriel, the human fighter.
I'm Kyle, I'm playing Cassius, the human rogue ranger. And good is literally in my last name.
Alright, so first thing first, we need to go back to the 7th of 6th month. Right now I think it's like the 15th, and you guys were in Cranham. We need to go back to the 7th of 6th month, which was the day after Karnan's dragons hatched, if you guys remember that. We should probably talk about what happened last time. Last time you guys went to Cranham, you found a city drenched in bronze and brass to just a ridiculous degree, because the furnace of creation in Cranham generates immense amounts of copper and tin, which is what brass and bronze and all that kind of jazz are made of. So they went and got stupid with it. He met with Dovos Manoth to get the Shadow Blade and the Cloak of Spring. You assisted him in some sketchy business to piss off all his foes, so he could still find a way to prove, that he was still a hard ass from the desert, to keep his reputation intact in the city, because a lot of stuff that goes on in Cranham politics depends on reputation. And he was a senator and was trying to do good, he said, but he never really explained what kind of good in the city. He just said, I'm trying to be a good guy, I'm trying to do good stuff. And you guys were like, alright, let's do this. We need your shit. And everything worked out well. You guys did some shenanigans that were very entertaining to observe. For about 5 seconds, there was the campaign almost became like a police procedural where you guys were going to investigate people, but then it just turned into, all right, we're going to do shit. And Turok pushed a guy off the top of a building. I think that's how that went out.
Me and Uriel had some half-burned graffiti and some stuff.
Yes. You used the spear to do some graffiti.
Dave paid for a bunch of bums to go into a...
Dave made a flash mob out of bums to
take over a restaurant.
That was the thing that happened. But the main thing is you got the Shadow Blade. I believe Uriel claimed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Do you need a refresher on what it does, or do you have that written down?
No, I don't have it written down. I planned on listening to the last session and then writing it down, but I didn't get around to it.
Okay, so let me find it here. Let me find my mouse. Alright, so notes. That's my notes. Artifacts. Alright, so let's go play. Where is it here? Shadow Blade. Alright. So right now it's just a black metal hilt with that wiggly, wavy shadow portion. When you make a wisdom saving throw, to stabilize, to maintain, focus it up with your will, it becomes a long, glassy black blade that you can see a midnight sky in, with clouds kind of floating by across the surface of the blade. It's kind of a big two-handed style sword, but it's super light. It has the light, finesse, and versatile properties. The base damage is 1d10. That's when you use it in one hand. The two-handed damage is 2d6. But it doesn't benefit from strength bonus. It just benefits from dex bonus because it's a finesse weapon. It also deals force damage, not slashing, piercing, force. Are y'all caught up? Ready for more? It ignores AC bonuses from armor and shields, as well as armor abilities that are not based on dexterity or wisdom, like the monk ability. So, it ignores the barbarian's con bonus to armor, but not the monk wisdom bonus to armor. Magical pluses to AC are not affected by this. So, a +1 suit of leather armor still offers that +1 to armor against the Shadow Blade. And for the purposes of damage resistance, it counts as magical, adamantine, whatever it needs to be to penetrate damage resistance. Or to ignore it, or however you want to say that. Questions, comments, concerns?
Concern for you, you're introducing a lot of like specific magical items that like do things, and that just seems like a hassle. Oh, this ignores armor, and this one.
But it's fun. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
neat.
Can you go over the Cloak of Shadows again?
The Cloak of Spring.
Or yeah, Cloak of Spring.
So when you wear it, it will bond to you. It's basic. It either provides a base AC of 14 if you wear it like armor, or if you wear it in addition to armor, it offers +1 bonus to AC. It acts as a light shield, basically, if you wear it as well. And you can use it like a shield because it attaches along your arms. So you can use it in place of a shield, or you can have your shield, whatever. Because all of you have consumed the blood of everlasting spring, the cloak provides you resistance to poison and necrotic damage, as well as advantage on Constitution saving throws against those things. It kind of smells vaguely like dragons, and it's all just like it's a triangular sheet of like big, thick scales, similar to Eisman's scales, a little bit bigger than his. It also provides a +1 bonus to all saving throws.
Oh, sorry, I have poison and necrotic. And then +1 to all saves.
Mm-hmm. And I don't remember who tried it on, but who tried it on last time?
We were going to give it to Chase, but since he's not here,
Yeah, go ahead and wear it.
I'll wear it for now.
And while you guys were watching, when it bonded to his like skin, when it like kind of attached itself to his flesh through his clothing or whatever, you guys noticed that it kind of became more rigid and had like kind of the triangular point of it at the bottom of the cloak kind of became more like tail-like, like a slender, like whip-like tail.
I almost jumped out the window.
Yes.
We calculated I would have just been unconscious.
Yeah, we did. We did calculate that.
Like, just to one point. If I would have had one more point of health, which I do now.
So any more refreshers you guys need?
No, we're good.
I think we're good.
Excellent. So we're going back in time to the 7th of 6th month, the day after Karnan's dragons hatched, which is going to turn out fine. It's going to be perfect, you guys. Those dragons aren't going to eat Karnan. They're not going to eat you guys. It's going to be fine. So on the 7th of 6th month, Kandar and Metris... it's Karnan's birthday on the 7th of 6th month. That's what it is. It's Karnan's birthday. Kandar and Metris brought out this heaping pile of chocolate-covered beetles that she stole from Karnan and his dragons. Like, you guys are all desert-born. There's no, like, stigma against eating bugs. Like, protein is protein when you're in the desert. So this was a very normal kind of snack. Like, a lot of parents, like, sugar or coat their beetles and bugs and worms and stuff in chocolate and give them to kids. It's like a healthier, like, sugar sweet snack. And the beetles are delicious. They got a good blend of crunch. It's got that umami, like salty, sweet taste to it, and that kind of thing. Wait, was it Karnan's birthday? Is it Karnan or Cassius? All right, it's Cassius' birthday. It's Cassius' birthday, not Karnan's.
I know what you meant.
So it's Cassius' birthday, and like you're all sitting around and Cassius is like, you know what? Let's go for a hunt. Cassius decided he wanted to go out and hunt. You're all sitting down. You've had a little bit of good wine, a little bit of sweets. You guys want to go for a hunt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So night falls. You guys decide to go hunting. Go ahead and make whoever's leading the hunt. Maybe it's Cassius. Maybe it's someone
Cassius'
else.
birthday.
Make a survival check for me.
Oh. I got you. I just need to put the skill up.
God, what's a +7 to that? You should have.
Yeah, I have a +10.
Never mind.
Never
Cassius
mind.
should have done it.
18. Nope. 16.
16? Okay. So, you guys head out to the desert, and you almost immediately find a sign of a mega scorpion, which is a giant scorpion. It's nothing you guys can't handle. It takes a couple hours, but you track it down, and it's got this huge fucking stinger that's like a spear of its own, but, you got your own spear, you've got your cutlass, you guys tear it apart, It's a little bit difficult to get meat out of scorpions and spiders and such because they have the carapace and then they have all the gooey insides. But you're desert folk. This is not the first time you've encountered an insectile source of food. To keep the carapace mostly intact and cart it back to your base.
And boil it.
Boil it, exactly. It's like it's like eating a lobster. You throw it in boiling water, it cooks. You do take off the tail and pull out the poison sacs and glands and all that because that is a concern. But it's good eating, augments your food supplies and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So nice little bonding experience.
Oh yeah.
I feel bonded.
You feel bonded?
Just some sort of like activity to kind of separate the stress we've been under.
Mm-hmm.
Having,
Yeah.
multiple near-death experiences.
Yes. Compared to a dragon, a mega scorpion is a pretty chill experience for you guys. Do you have a mini? Do you need a mini? Have you been using a mini from my box?
Out of the box.
I think I picked out a nice one last time that I really liked, but I have no idea what it was.
Okay. So, my mini box is in my black and red bag there. Otherwise, go ahead and use one of Kevin's. So, second thing. There's another retcon. You guys returned to the Pirouetting Palomino in Cranham after doing things for Dovos Manoth on the 15th of 6th month. Kandara and Metris prepared a meal of good quality wine, some expensive tequila, and an actual fucking cheesecake for Domino's birthday.
Wow. Cheesecake. It's Dom's favorite.
It is.
Now we know who her favorite is.
Well, usually you put whipped cream and cherries on that.
Dom
but
knows
she's got
actually
that for later.
thanks. So grateful.
Yes. She's very happy to have improved your birthday. She knows how much you love cheesecake, and she's just glad you're all together and you're all alive.
We are.
So you're in the Pirouetting Palomino. It's the 15th of 6th month. You just did all that fucking bullshit for Dovos Manoth. I assume you guys showed Herber the Cloak of Spring and the Shadow Blade. Like, hey, we got the stuff.
Yep.
He immediately disappears for an hour, just inspecting them. Doesn't even ask permission. Just yoink off Cassius and yoink from Uriel and into his room.
Is it a painful experience when it comes off? Is not
There's pressure, but not pain.
okay. Not like ripping a stud out of someone.
No, it's not nearly like that.
So it more like willingly let's go.
Yeah, willingly let's go. It recognizes that.
Like the cloak of levitation.
So he spends an hour inspecting them and brings them back down to there's your cloak, there's your shadow blade, and he's starting to count out coins for when he pays you. And he says, "It is my belief that the cloak of spring is in fact a piece of the god of unceasing spring, or the Scaled King, as Karen Kamanos referred to him. Its magical signature is similar in strength and intensity to those I've seen when gazing upon the skull or the teeth with my detect magic stud active." And kind of points to the detect magic stud that he has, that you all know he has. Mm-hmm. He says, "Neither the cloak nor the shadow blade has any sign of studs on it that I've been able to find, so they're clearly not conventional magic items. That's obvious. But what I find truly fascinating is the fact that the shadow blade has no signature whatsoever." Pauses and he's separating coins into piles. And he says, "That's imprecise. It has a magical signature, but it's dissimilar to that of the godly artifacts we found and collected. It's almost like an echo of a potent magical signature, as if at one point it had an immensely powerful signature, maybe as powerful as all of our collected artifacts, but now it's just the echo of that signature, that impression of that signature, rather than an actual magical signature." I don't know what it means, but it's interesting.
Cassius is gonna, while he's saying this, just kind of stare at him with a blank look and just kind of nod like he knows what's being said, but he has no idea.
Yes.
That pretty much everyone is giving.
Yeah.
Everyone, Metris, Kandara, the cousins are just.
I give him a
yes,
slice of
magical
cheese.
signature.
Yes.
I give him a leftover slice of cheesecake.
Okay. Oh, thank you. And he pushes 225 gold to each of you for your daily wage since the last time you were paid, and then he piles another 2,000 gold on the table for the group as we found an artifact. He's not counting the Shadow Blade as an artifact because it's fucking weird, but the Cloak of Spring is definitely
250?
225 for each of
sorry.
you. Okay. Plus, however you split up the $2,000.
We're splitting it up 6 ways, right?
I'd say 3 ways.
3 ways.
I mean, I didn't get the arena gold, so
Yeah.
I'm going to say 3 ways. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 2,000 3 ways would be
And then the other 3 can split the leftover remainder of the gold between them.
666.
Yeah. They can fight over the 0.66 shares.
We just got 666 gold.
Yeah, clunk
That's
like
not
that.
on this.
So, all right. Do you guys just close out the night, hang out, enjoy each other's company, chit chat? Anything, any issues anyone wants to bring up? Anyone want to talk about anything about your next step of your journey?
I want to ask Kandara if she wants to go shopping with my birthday money.
Sure.
I didn't get him a present, so I'm gonna go look for one last minute too.
Okay.
So.
Oh, well, Donald's going to feel real bad because he didn't get you anything then.
Well, I mean,
he's not going to know that retroactively, so he's just going to feel bad.
Yeah. I've got the box of daggers that was left with us from Greg, but.
Box of daggers.
But anyways, I'd like to go arm in arm with Kandara, and I'd like to look for a stud of comprehend languages.
Okay. How many hours do you spend looking?
We're leisurely enjoying the night, so I'll say as long as the shops are open at whatever time we decide to go, 3 hours.
Let's look at Cranum. 3 hours. Oh, what level spell is it? First level? Second level?
I believe it's first level, but let me double check. Come on. First level spell, yes.
Okay. You managed to find one for 500 gold.
Yeah, they want to buy it.
Okay.
I'll buy it, yes.
The shop owner finds a little... For some reason, he packages it up in a little ring box and ties a ribbon over it and then presents it to you as if it's jewelry. But,
As soon as he does that, I undo it and I tap it on.
Ow! And you're going shopping as well, you said?
Yeah, I want to find either a ring of warmth or boots of the winter equivalent. So what it is, it's an item that gives cold resistance.
Cold resistance?
The boots are a little bit more powerful. It says you have resistance to cold damage. You ignore difficult terrain created by ice or snow. And then some other stuff.
I should.
You should. I'm gonna look for a fireball stud again. I missed that after fusing it with my spear. And then I'm gonna talk to Chronic Monos. I want to figure out a way to use my spear to shoot the fireball, strictly for flavor.
So Ring of Warmth does just
It's just cold resistance.
Cold resistance and a boots of the hinterlands or something.
Yeah, they're cold resistance and ignoring difficult terrain created by.
Okay. How many hours do you spend looking?
I'll say 4.
4.
Either one of those. So.
You find a ring with a stud of protection from energy on it.
Okay.
The shopkeeper hasn't really tested it. He knows for a fact that it does offer resistance to cold, but he's not sure if there are any issues with it not working right. He's willing to sell it for 1,500 gold.
I'll hand him over the 1,500 gold.
Okay.
And then I don't want to dick over a friend with a possibly cursed magic item. So
It is not cursed. It offers resistance to cold.
Okay. Okay, so 1,500 gold, you said?
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
No fireball stuff.
Changed my mind.
No
Yeah.
fireball stuff.
I'm just browsing.
Browsing. Okay. All right. No more shopping? We can retcon if you change your mind. It's fine. Back to section 16. All right. So you guys close out the night. You and Kandar go for a walk through the city. Cassius maybe tags along, and
I'll leave them to their own.
okay.
Well, we can hang out for a little while. No problems with that.
Cassius follows, and he follows like 10 feet behind you, but he thinks he's giving you privacy. I like to think that like Cassius is kind of obliviousness to social cues sometimes, like kind of like he's following like 10, 15 feet behind you guys and thinks he's giving you privacy.
He pretends every time like you guys look back, like he'll like look really engrossed into something. Like,
oh, look at this bronzeness.
At one time, there's like a scorpion tail like that's being thrown out and being rotted. Or like it's all rotted and disgusting, and he's like looking at it like, how much for that? That looks really tasty, and it's like clearly rancid.
Pablo just tells Kinder he means well.
And then a breaker comes by and like looks at it, and it just rots into nothing, just fades away into like component atoms. And Cassius just. So, it's the next day, the 16th of 6th month. You're preparing to head 150-ish miles south-ish to square R10 on the map to find the adamant armor, which is supposedly in the possession of the Goliath tribe that, according to Eisman, used it for fishing.
Before we get, I'm going to hand Domhnall the ring I had purchased.
What?
As like a birthday present, so. It says, I know you've got a spear that lets you resist warm, but I thought it did.
Nope.
Oh.
Does not encourage.
I can just resist its warmth.
Yes.
Oh. Well, then never mind. You can resist cold enough.
I'm almost speechless. Thank you, Cassius. Very kind of you.
Did you say something about Karen Manos? No, that was in correlation to the fireball stud. Talking to him with the fireball stud.
Yeah, but I want to talk to him.
Okay.
Did you purchase it anyway?
No, I didn't even look and see how. I don't think I only have 500 gold. I don't think I can afford a fireball stud. So
maybe.
Look for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yes, I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna worry about it right now.
Chances are very slim. You would.
But what I am gonna do. Well, I got this new ring. I wonder if I can trade. No, I'm just kidding.
I did not get a receipt.
No, Donald puts the ring on and he really likes it. He's very.
It's got like a it's bronze, of course, and it's got the stud on it, and the stud kind of like it's just a simple band of bronze, and the stud kind of sits on it, almost like you know how gems have a big fat setting that are sometimes bigger than the band. So it kind of looks kind of goofy, but it's got a faint patina of like ice across it. It looks kind of like a natural pattern, you know, because like bronze gets that greenish patina across it and then doesn't rust anymore.
Yep.
It's got kind of that. It looks kind of cool.
Okay.
Like I personally have always found like the greenish patina on bronze to be neat, and that's kind of the thing that's going on here.
Yeah.
What I do want to talk to Karen Manos about though is the potential of fusing my spear with other blades of bone and flame.
Okay. So you're all getting ready, your gear ready, and you fire up the break air stone, and Karen Manos comes in. Good copy, Domhnall. Go ahead.
Yeah, Gar. I was, we know for certain there's some more blades and bone of flame out there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the possibility of combining those with my spear right now?
And that's the noise it makes. Huh. And like you can hear some reptilian hissing in the background, and like there's something bashing something against something, and like he starts yelling like, cut it out, I'm thinking here. I don't rightly know if that's possible, but I think if you find one of the blades of bone and flame or some other artifact of the Horned Queen, I think if you bring it in close proximity to the spear, you're going to find out pretty quick what she has to say about it.
We're gonna say I'm not doing this in private. At least Domhnall and Uriel are around, and you guys see Domhnall's face just light up at that prospect. So he says, "All right, I gotta go. Thanks, Car."
I actually was going to ask him real quick how the gods felt about each other. Like, what was their relationship among each other? Was it strictly business, or were there like personal like friendships and stuff like that? You know,
Donald tosses Cassius the
I'll
baker.
ask him like,
Good copy, good buddy. Cassius, go ahead.
it's like, hey, we found a couple other artifacts, and we're just curious. You mentioned that. What was the relationship among the gods? Like, were they close, or was it strictly business?
They, from the perspective of my people, they were friends, if not more.
Okay.
They were, and I don't mean if not more in the sense of romantic relationships. I mean it in the sense of
They got
they
along.
were friends, if not family.
Yeah,
That was their bond.
They got along. It wasn't like this
They-
one trying to take from that one.
I would call them a family. Every family has its strifes and it's any kind of, you can't see him, but there's a catch in his voice, and you guys know Karen Manos pretty well at this point.
Mhm.
Like, you can tell, like, he's probably, the catch in his voice is him probably thinking about
We
his family.
We probably talked to him at the campfire and stuff at
Yeah.
night too. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a catch in his voice, and he says every family has its strifes, its interpersonal relationships, but there was a bond there. There was a bond between them.
that actually. I won't say this when we're still keyed up, but I go, well, thanks, bud. That helps out a lot.
Glad to be on the team.
When we hang up, I kind of assume Herbert heard this too, and just like, hey, that really goes against what we've been told too. You know, with the gods, like we were led to believe that they were this, you know, competing for power, and you had the Lord of Balance that came in and kept them there.
There are multiple Herbert. This is Herbert speaking. There are many different interpretations of the gods. You know, the giants, like our names focus on the seasons and, you know, their position in the what we would think of as the hierarchy of seasons and how the seasons relate to each other. Whereas Manos and his people thought of them as what they were. You know, the king in white was white-skinned. We call him the god of unwavering balance. You know, there are many different interpretations, and I would trust Manos' opinion more than any particular sect or group in our modern times.
Okay. Side note: the king in white, its equivalent is the changers, right?
Yeah, the changers.
The Scarlet Queen is the breakers.
Yep.
Obviously, the summer is the Ifrit.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is that? It's okay. So the Lujgao. Let's see here. Let's get this all on the table. So the Lujgao were the Ifrit, which their descendants are called the Burners,
Okay, that's what it was.
and that is the Scarlet, or the Horned Queen / the God of Summer. The Sorials are now considered to be the healers, and that was the God of Spring.
Yep.
The vampires are now the Breakers, and that was the God of Autumn.
Yeah,
The Teeth.
the teeth.
The Whites are now the Changers, and that is the Skull and the God of Balance.
Okay. So,
So on the map, where does the next place we're going relate to where Crank is, because we still have to go see that.
He's southeast
Yeah,
of us, right?
the plan was to go from Cranham down to the coast and then over to the.
We're over here somewhere.
No, you guys are here.
Oh, that's Millen.
Oh, yep, you're right. Cranham. You guys are in Cranham. Your plan is to go about here,
Crank
and
is
then
somewhere here.
Carrickmanos is somewhere over here, I believe.
Alright. We still gotta look for more Blades of Bone and Flame, too.
Yes. And the Visage of Ash, which was linked to the the God of Summer, was supposed to be somewhere over in this area.
That's one other one.
And I think there's the belief that one of the blades is in the city of Menem.
City of Mirrors, the only one we actually haven't physically visited yet.
Yes.
Well, we might as well go see it.
Yeah.
The bronze did so well in our eyes.
Menem is basically Cranham, just replace all the bronze with iron.
So the people in Cranham, because of the sunlight, actually have like bronzed skin from the tan.
I mean, they all have darker skin tones in the first place, so it's kind of hard to see tans developing, but all right, so it's the 16th of 5th month. You guys are ready to head south. It's about 150-ish miles to square R10 to find this Goliath fishing tribe, which is not a normal thing. Like, people that live on the coast, not normal. There's nasty shit in the ocean, and the ocean is made of acid. Second of all, nobody fucking fishes. Everything in the ocean is huge and full of teeth or poisonous.
Not
You
to
know.
mention it's really, really, really dense with salt.
Yes, it's very buoyant and full of silt. So you guys talk to Carrickmanos, you ready your gear, you talk to Herber, and you head out. You travel south, kind of along the coast. You're a couple miles away from the coast because nobody goes right along the coast. That's for crazy people. But you're close enough that you can smell like the salt, acidic smell of the ocean. It's fairly unpleasant. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much time your characters have spent along the coasts of the continent, but the shoreline is only really the only real part of the desert that could be classified as sandy. Most of Iofka is hard-packed brown earth and cracked stone. The edges along the continent are no different. It's just that as the tides come in, they deposit silt, which eventually dries out and kind of becomes the equivalent of sand on the shore. But you know, like as you watch the coast, you can see that like the rocky nature of the coast it's pretty smooth because the water is acidic and water erodes rock to begin with. So there's this very smooth, featureless, flat slope at the edges of the continent, and then it's just covered in kind of silt deposited there by the waves. You know, so it's a very weird naturally occurring formation. It's kind of almost like there's the water, and then Iofka itself is kind of a sloping rise out of the water, almost kind of like the tip of a volcano, like rising on like almost a perfect angle out of the ocean. It's weird. It's something we probably wouldn't ever really see in our world, but it's something that would be normal for your world, just because of the nature of the waters lapping against the edges of the continent.
Does it have like that cool like turquoise blue color like you see in like salt flats and stuff that gets really
It's
hot?
actually really green.
Green? Okay.
Well, turquoise is greenish, isn't it?
yeah, it's like a greenish blue.
Yeah, so yeah, it can be turquoise, greenish blue. Yeah.
Kind of like in Yellowstone.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yes. Traveling the deep desert is pretty uncomfortable, but along the coast is pretty bad as well. Like, it's just as hot. And, you know, after traveling for a dozen or so miles and leaving the region of towns outside Cranham, the ground starts to get hard and barren. And there's just this constant acidic tang to the air, just kind of like gnawing at your sinuses and stuff, just agitating everything. The journey for the next 7 days is fairly uneventful. After 3 days or so of travel, you do notice that a young dragon, maybe 7 or 8 feet long, is kind of slowly following in your wake behind your party. But it's clearly starving, and you're easily outpacing it. And you can use a spyglass and look at it, and it's clearly just like, just kind of like forcing itself to continue for whatever reason, and its scales are cracked and graying along the edges, and it eventually, after following you for a couple days, it just kind of slumps over, and like that, this desert raptor, huge, dives out of the sky and just like starts clawing the shit out of it and tearing it apart.
Holy shit.
Just like that, like the second it hits the ground, just like whoosh.
So as it was stalking us, that desert raptor was probably stalking it.
Yes. And desert raptors are pretty big. They're about 30-pound birds, which is about the size that some of the big, like, old world vultures get in this world. Like maybe a little bit, maybe a couple pounds bigger. So massive wingspan. You guys probably noticed it. Like like the sky is completely empty of clouds, so it's not like it's hard to see birds up in the air. But you know.
Oh, I keep an eye out for them too.
Yes.
After the encounter on the Pillars of Iron.
Domhnall has huge scars.
Yeah, I have scars across my face, strictly from a desert raptor.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So the desert raptor enjoys its meal. Somewhere Karnan plays with his dragons and whatever.
Is that what we call it now?
Yes, that's what we call it now. A few more days pass. It is now the 22nd of 6th month, 4033 DOS. You entered the region of the square we have identified as R10 early in the day, and you're now just kind of trying to track down the fishing tribe. The fishing tribe isn't well, yeah, that's a coastal square. Yeah, whatever. So you're in this square that is on the coast. How do you guys attempt to track this tribe down? Do you just kind of walk back and forth, or you just head west to the coast, or?
I mean, they're giants, so they're not my forte for tracking, but I can give it a shot, like looking for, I don't know, any signs of life, like campfires or anything walking down the coastline.
Okay. You use this. You look around with the spyglass. You're looking on the ground. All these kinds of things. You point the spyglass west. You see a big tower of bone with a big banner on it. The banner is red, I think, and it's got a huge barbed fish hook kind of thing on it, and then it's got this stylized shape of it looks a lot like a sewer dragon, like a long crocodilian body, but it's got 6 bladed kind of fin type, mixed between blade and fin. The limbs on the bottom of it instead of the sewer dragon feet. And you know that to be an Ochet, which is the nastiest creature in the ocean. They're CR20. But that's the only real sign that's to the west, and you see the tower.
That probably seems like where we want to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know what a fish hook is, but
It's a big metal hook.
no, I mean Cassius doesn't know what it is.
It's a big metal hook. Cassius would identify, hey guys, there's a big metal hook over there. So you head towards this tower of bone, and you approach it, and it's this 15-foot tall post, I guess you'd call it. It's got these huge poles made out of it's a huge pole made out of nailed together bones. Like when you see whale bones, in Alien vs Predator or other movies involving coasts and ice and stuff. It's huge whale rib bones nailed together, and at the top is this banner of this fish hook and this Ochet.
So the fish hook is just on the banner.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a red banner with a black fish hook on it.
Okay.
And one quadrant, and then an Ochet in the lower right quadrant. Actually, it's a yellow banner. It's a yellow banner, not red. That was important for some reason. I don't remember why it was important that it was yellow, but it should be yellow.
All right.
The big ribs are 8 feet long, and they're all kind of stacked together and driven together with nails and stuff. There's no wood on it. It's all just made out of bone. The banner is faded from hanging in the sun, so it's probably been hanging there for quite a while. Looking around with your spyglass, you can kind of see a line of them heading further west, one every couple miles. Herber says, given what Eisman said about the tribe using the adamant armor to fish, I feel like we must be on the correct track. You guys continue towards the following line of banners. And you can see them like to the north and to the south, you know, kind of like you think that based on your knowledge of like tribes and stuff, this might be like a demarcation of this is our tribe's property. Don't fuck around in here. This is where we live.
Okay.
How they'll receive you guys walking through there, you can't really know. You guys have never heard of this tribe. You haven't ever interacted with them. But, you know, you're heading in the right direction.
General, I guess, it seems crazy that this is just now coming out, but is there like a general like sign of we come in peace across the entire world of Yafka?
I mean, white flags are a thing.
Like, is that a thing?
That's a thing you
can
could use, but that's a thing you can use, but like among the tribes, there's no like universally recognized sign of we come in peace, don't attack us.
Okay.
But a white flag is probably like a safe, like they would like this tribe would understand what a white flag means. So that's probably a safe option to use.
We hope.
Donald digs through his goodies, and most of his tunics are dirt and sweat, you know, just cake. He might have one or two
that finds the clean ones
that are nice and clean white,
and
he kind of rigs a pole up to put that on one of the wagons.
That's the one he saves for when he finally like asks Kandar out on a date.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you guys follow the line of banners for a couple hours. It's now noon. You're almost to the coast, and you start to see an encampment built ahead of you. It's a huge camp. You're about an hour away. It's just like from your perspective now, like without any elevation, to see like the inside of it. It's just this wall of like spiked bones, like just this huge long line of spiked bone, kind of curving towards the coast. Several miles. This wall is like several miles in length, so this is a huge encampment for the desert, especially considering like how hard it is to find like resources. Most tribes are 20 to 30 individuals in like more fertile regions, much smaller like the deeper you go into the desert. This tribe is truly massive for a desert tribe. If they're getting most of their food from fishing, they are making bank, so to speak, to have an encampment this big. Yeah, there's this huge fence of like bone and shell, and it's all kind of like it's made to look imposing. So like the tops are spiked, and like the top of it is like spiked bone and stuff.
Like are they like naturally spiked, or are they like spiked by hand?
It's clearly something people have shaved.
Okay.
Like there might be huge teeth in it, but like nothing like. It's not like an 8-foot tooth is in there, like, and that's the main point.
Okay.
Like they haven't like set up a row of 8 feet teeth.
Yeah.
8 feet long teeth. So, as you kind of approach, you can see watchtowers, and you can see like figures resolving into the shapes of Goliath on top of them. Are you guys trying to make a stealthy approach, a direct approach? Like,
yeah,
direct, obvious.
Good boys, good boys.
Yeah, definitely not stealthy.
So you approach directly, like heading toward this gap. Like there's a gap in the bone fence with like 2 towers made of bone, and the towers are like 40, 50 feet tall. There's like a platform. There's a couple of Goliath on each of them, like with bows and that sort of thing. The guards on the tower note your presence, and as you approach, more Goliath kind of like join them, and nobody has like all the spears out, and like nobody's like got shields and swords ready to attack you, but like your presence has been noted, so they're sending warriors to the gate. Like that's kind of how you interpret this response. All the Goliath are fucking desert weathered. These are people who are weathered and worn and scarred from life in the desert, just like you guys are, but they're well fed. Most people in the desert have a very lean, wiry, like gristly, like tough leather appearance. These people have meat on their frames, even beyond the fact that they're Goliath and they're 8 feet tall and they're huge mini giants. These are people that eat well. And they're all wearing armor of like bone and scale and like crustacean shells and carapace and stuff. There's one guy with like this huge crustacean, like it looks like a giant crab head. Like, you know how crabs are kind of flat? It looks like a giant crab, like, over his chest as a breastplate. There's another guy with, like, a big, like, turtle shell as a shield. And it's easily as big as any, like, desert tortoise any of you have ever seen. The archers up on the towers, they have these huge Goliath-long got Goliath-sized longbows, and then they've got these arrows. They're not tipped with metal or flint or anything like that. They have like barbed spines. We would think of them as like stingray spines. They look kind of like that, but they're just barbed spines in place of like flint or metal. They're fletched with some kind of like leathery looking webbing instead of feathers. There's a Goliath kind of leaning out from the left watchtower. He's wearing a suit of armor made of layers of thick looking diamond shaped scales that look kind of like a mix between bone and fish scale. Like the scales are kind of weird looking, like they're really fucking thick and they look almost like bone scales. It's it's nothing you've ever seen before, unless you guys nobody's a fisherman. Okay.
No, he went to the ocean and saw it once and like, oh,
Neat.
and then like left.
He's got this big wooden sword thing on his shoulder, and it's studded with serrated triangular teeth. Each teeth is about the size of a human's thumb. This guy with this tooth sword yells out, "Oi, travelers! You're in the lands of the Nasher. We got no problem with you and no need to rob or kill you, so just turn on back and let's keep it that way. Sound good?"
Well,
Just turn the wagons around. Crocet, go on now. Go on out of here.
we're kind of hoping to talk.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like to know more about your culture, and we hear you've got some artifacts of importance here.
Nope, get out of here. Go. Get on out of here. We don't have any artifacts, and we're very private culture. He's lying.
Yeah, we gathered that.
We hear you have something we seek.
Yeah, he's lying through his teeth.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the best way to not like offend them. Like, obviously, this is a culture that's different than ours, heavily. So we're not familiar with. I mean, even if how long they've been here,
Hundreds of years.
yeah, so long enough to be completely self-sufficient. And well, we've heard some tales of an artifact of the gods that might.
Don't know nothing about that. Just us soldiers out here.
We'll show you ours if you show us yours.
Like,
What you mean? Do you say that?
I say that.
What do you mean?
Let us in there, we'll show you. We got some cool stuff too.
Makes an insight check against you. Kind of look.
And to try to kind of help his persuasion attempt, if you want to call it. Would you deny an old man his attempt to see the sea?
Oh, fuck off! You're a warrior.
You're like decked out in armor. It's like,
No, wait. At that point, I'm gonna.
I'm talking about Herbert.
That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say
Herbert pokes it up. What?
the sea? No.
I don't want to see. So he comes down and he's like, "All right, tell. What do you have?"
Dom clicks a spear on and says, "This is one of them." And clicks it back off.
He leans over to one of the other warriors and says something quietly. You guys can make a perception check if you want to hear.
He's talking.
The other Goliath runs off back into the camp. That's pretty neat. So, what do you guys want?
We'd like to talk to your elder or whoever owns this this armor we've heard of.
Okay. Well, I sent Yimbo to talk to the elders, see if they'll talk to you. What? I mean, that. What
Did you guys
is that?
notice any rain here recently?
Yeah, we saw the rain.
Yeah, that was us.
Yeah, that was us.
Nah.
Oh, you want to see it?
No, I did not want to do
Pull something
that.
in. You want to see? Do you want to see the rain?
Do you want to see it rain?
Don't forget. Don't worry about what else happens. But
Yeah, I would say if it comes to that, we'll say, tell you what, we'll make it rain. Like 2 days from now, it'll rain. We'll come back. You know.
You'll be dead if the shadow monster shows up.
No, we were gonna go out in the middle of the desert, wait 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's called turn.
So after a couple minutes, unless do you guys like engage in any more conversation? Okay. So there's a semi-awkward silence where all the warriors are kind of standing around like, what should we take their weapons?
Domino hands him his spear.
Is it off?
Yeah, it's off.
The guy with the
Check it out.
Is that Luzhgao stone?
It is.
Is he wearing Luzhgao? He points to Cut. Is that Luzhgao stone armor? I know Luzhgao's.
He is.
And that
The cutlass, yeah.
I put myself. Oh, ooh, look at it.
Is that? And he's struck.
It's your worst nightmare.
Dovos Manov. You can't. You're too young to be Dovos Manov.
No, he actually gave us this stuff.
He lives in Cranham, right?
Where we just came from. Came down to see you guys next.
He starts to press he's going like, do I turn it on with the stud?
And he says, I wouldn't.
Why not?
You can try it and find out.
It's gonna hurt a lot.
Like he's really struggling. Like he really.
I get the lantern ready.
He inspects.
No, puts it over his shoulder. Good choice. Let's just say she only likes me.
She?
It's a long story.
Okay. So I think his name is Yimbo. Yimbo comes back. And he kind of says to the sawtooth, not sawtooth, the tooth blade guy, they'll see him. They gotta leave their wagons and shit out here though. It's like, all right. He says, all right, you six that are in the charge, you guys, the warriors, you come with me. And Kandar and Metris are like, do you want to? Should we stay here? Should we come with you?
I was going to just offer to have the people that aren't technically here right now just kind of like stay back.
Everyone stays back. Everyone who's not essential stays back.
I say we take Herbert though.
Us three and Herbert.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
all right.
further.
Whatever. Come on. We'll have a sit down with the elders. I'm not gonna take your weapons and shit, but just there are a lot more of us than there are you. Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
We're strong, but we're not that strong. You're clearly hardened people.
Throws him away.
Yeah. The Goliath, who he doesn't offer up his name or his rank or anything. He escorts you through the encampment, and it's a big place. Like, it's not a screaming festival of noise like the lines outside the cities, but there are a lot of Goliath here, and it's all Goliath. Like, this is a Goliath tribe. There's huts and people going about day-to-day things to keep any sort of camp like this running, and there are more huts here than you'd see like in a town outside a city. You would not be surprised to learn that there are over 200 Goliath in this camp, and that is like the scale of this camp is immense by your standards of like desert tribes. It's insane.
My tribe was like 35 people, and that was big.
Yeah.
We weren't big. 15.
And like it's everything you would expect to see. There are homes, there are crowsank pens, there are smithies, cooking areas. There's no like there are bits of metal and bits of wood, but everything is mostly made out of like hide and bone and scale, and you know, just like the fence around the encampment, just like the weapons of the warriors, just like the banner posts and everything. Everything is made out of bone or scale or shell or some combination of all three. Maybe a little bit of like rope, maybe a little bit of metal, like a pin in the end of a spear to hold the head on. You know, stuff like that. Very minimal amounts of wood and metal. They seem to have replaced it with bone and natural materials. You're walking through, and you do see some odd things. Like there's these Goliath tending these large like pits, and when I say pits, I mean like stuff that's 20, 30 feet in diameter, lined in stone, full of murky, kind of greenish acid water from the sea. Like it's seawater in these huge pits, and these Goliath are like tossing pieces of raw meat in it. And you can see like flurries of the equivalent of like dire piranha, like all tooth and fang and just like nasty temperament, like going nuts over this meat that these Goliath lob in there, and there are dozens of these large pools of water. You're followed by a pretty large group of warriors as well as loogie loose in the camp. Like, humans are not, seen all the time here. This is a Goliath camp. Everyone's curious what the fuck you're doing. The Tooth Blade Goliath guy leads you. He's giving out hellos and nods of respect. He's clearly well known in the camp. Eventually, you come to kind of the center of the camp, and it's a building with lots of those fishhook and Ochette banners, like all over the place on it. It's fairly low to the ground, like it would barely clear Turok's head. So it's about 8.5 feet tall. All made out of bone. Like there's occasionally like a skull on it, like a fish that looks like a giant fish head, or a giant turtle head, or a giant like claw or whatever. It's clearly like a building of some importance to the tribe. The Goliath leading you stands beside the door of the hut. The hut is basically just a sheet of leather in a bone frame, wide enough to admit the bulk of an adult Goliath, and he gestures with his head towards the door. Go on in, be polite and whatnot. And I have to pee, so I think we're going to take a break there. And we're back. We're back. Everyone's back. So, the Goliath gestures towards the leather door. Go on in, be polite and stuff. I assume you guys head inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You guys head inside.
Donald leads the way, but holds the door open for everyone else to go in first.
How polite. The space inside is pretty roomy, surprisingly dim. It's supported by, the interior is supported by beams made of bone, of course. There's an unlit fire pit in the center of the room. Up above it in the roof is a little hole for like smoke to escape and that sort of thing. Kind of seated in like camp chairs of like hide and bone around in a semicircle around this fire pit are 5 elderly Goliath. It smells pretty smoky in here, and maybe just a skosh dank. Like
I wish Chase was here.
Yeah, yes. So like it's clear that this is a place that they use frequently to have fires and hold meetings and stuff. The Goliath are like I said, they're all pretty old. They're tall and they're brawny because Goliath, but they look like they're mostly like toughened leather and gristle. Kind of accented by scar tissue. It's 3 elderly women and 1 old man, 2 old men. One woman kind of in the center of the semicircle, she's wearing this kind of like leather cap wig thing. Like the leather is dyed to match like her skin tone, and all Goliath are kind of like a grayish black, kind of dark skin tone. Like it's got these barbed needles like in like 3 rows, kind of like 3 mohawks of needles like standing out from it. It's weird.
They're like embedded in her flesh.
No, it's a leather cap with like studded with these spikes.
She's trying to give it the impression that they're embedded in her flesh. That's why it's like dyed.
It's kind of like a crazy wig.
Yep.
Some Goliath tribes wear wigs, some don't. Some like it's just like humans. Like everyone pierces things or like tattoos things. Wigs are kind of like a Goliath. Like since Goliath are hairless, wigs are kind of like an affectation that they do, similar to like the way humans would use earrings or tattoos. Not that Goliath don't use earrings or tattoos or nose rings or what have you.
Yeah.
This is just a weird thing because they don't have any hair. The middle Goliath lady with the weird wig hat thing says, "Travelers," she's got that quavering old lady voice. "Travelers, you're among the elders of the Nasher. You come to our gates speaking of artifacts and say you possess your own and claim that we have some. We welcome you, but what business brings you here?" That's my impression of old lady wavering.
It was good.
Wavering old lady voice.
I step forward and I go, well, we're the abandoned.
Oh. Oh. I don't know what that means.
It's,
Sounds sad.
well, I know, but I figured our name's got to be getting around some places, so we'll drop it a few times.
Drop it, see what happens.
See what
Flash
happens.
your belt buckle.
Yeah.
May have heard of this.
May have heard of
Did
it.
you ever buy a thorn whip?
I did not.
Do you have the money to anymore?
I have the money to. I could buy it, but I didn't look for it. It was one of those, like, last minute. Anyways, we get to Venom.
Okay.
He goes, it's a stage name we used during the arena that we won.
I've heard of the Great Arena. Wasp.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I don't know.
We'll not beat around the bush.
I'm losing a grip on his accent by the moment.
We're looking for the adamant armor.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Get out.
Just
The old lady, like, Quaver is gone. She's just like, fuck off. It's ours. Our tribe has held it for centuries. Go.
We're not seeking.
ma'am, please.
She had, like, a gap-toothed, like, friendly smile on her face. Kind of like a vapid old lady expression. That's gone. It's all fucking steel and anger. Like, fuck off. It's our armor. We've had it for centuries. Go.
We truly mean no disrespect.
What is your opinion on the death of gods and the endless, like, summer? The endless desert? I don't know what to say
It's
exactly.
pretty
but
fucking rough. It's pretty fucking rough is what it is.
Our goal is to revive/rescue the god of winter, who is presumed to be alive within the font of shadows, and we need just about every artifact we can get to do that.
Good for you and your fucking ego. We have people that rely on us and the fucking armor. We got mouths to feed here. We got more in the desert that rely on us. We don't have time for fucking quests to fucking pat yourself on the back. Oh, we're gonna save the world. Ooh, good for fucking you.
What do you use the armor for?
Fishing.
I don't want to see this fishing.
Show us. Please.
Wait around 3 days and we will.
If you're okay with us staying for 3 days.
We
And
love
the world's probably fine. It's been raining recently.
That's because of
That's
us.
because of us.
Bullshit.
Mainly because of him.
Bullshit. Bullshit. She didn't do good on her insight.
Tell you what.
You know what?
Come with us.
Tell you what.
4 days on the desert.
3 days. We want to see the fishing in 3 days. I will make it rain in 3 days.
I look at her and I say, he'll fucking do it.
If you don't believe me, I will make it rain. You will have the best catch of fish you've ever had in your entire life.
What the fuck are you doing? What do you mean? We don't know anything about fishing. How do you know that'll make a better fish?
He doesn't. But
Bullshit.
he's assuming water and...
You didn't bring Karnan in with you. The other elders are kind of... The other elders are kind of like, making like these harumping like noises, like kind of like looking
If you're
at
gonna
her.
say the Blackstone thing, I do have a Blackstone shield.
Oh,
And
is that a Blackstone fucking shield?
And there's a Blackstone cutlass and a Blackstone spear. And Blackstone studs. And
So the other elders are like, like they're not really saying words. They're just kind of like harumphing and like making that Marge Simpson noise in their throats.
Homie.
that noise?
That. And finally, like the angry old Goliath lady, she admits this, just like, just tell me true from start to finish what the fuck you six are up to, okay? And she taps this stud on her arm, and you feel this magic aura of truth.
Zone of truth?
Yeah, she does zone of truth.
Sweet.
Nope, that's not D20. I need a 200.
I hope she passes out.
It uses like a 9th level spell slot.
Oh,
But that doesn't matter at this point.
So the whole tent is telling the truth.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Just tell me true what the fuck is going on and what you fucks are about.
Well, we've told you already that we seek to restore the god of endless winter.
You know, that'd be a good way to lie. Because that's not even if we didn't plan on doing that. That's not a lie. He said we told you already that we plan on this.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That's
a reason.
not, even if it was
Lie,
untrue,
and
that's
then
not a lie.
reference the
There's-
lie.
That's not a lie.
There's a reason. There's a reason.
I mean, it is the truth, but still, yes, that is a loophole.
I was gonna say there's a reason why he's got a 10 in persuasion.
Just tell me who you are, what you've been up to, and how you plan to save the world.
All right,
we
we're the
didn't say the loophole
abandoned.
thing out loud. Be like, hey, we could lie to you.
We're the abandoned. We've been.
I don't care what that means. Who are you?
I am Cassius Fuentes Arlo Manuel de Amor.
I'm dumb.
Too much truth. Dial it back.
And you are?
You're real.
Okay. All right. Now we're making progress. How did you make it rain?
We have one of the artifacts in our possession, the skull lantern. Upon use of this object, shortly after, it will rain and I give the specifics of when it will rain after we've...
It's 2
Guessing
days,
it's
isn't
2 days after we've...
Depends on where you are.
Oh, shit.
Probably 3 to 4 days to reach you. Can you slide the map closer?
I thought we had this shit down with science. Turns out we don't.
We thought we did too.
It comes from the Font of the Shadows, and then
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 to 4 days.
That's not good because we said exactly 3.
Yeah, whatever.
we're going now.
But
So,
we use this artifact, and it pulls a creature from the Shadow Realm, and then shortly after it will rain, and then the creature disappears. Obviously, we can't use it here because that would be a very dumb idea.
why?
Because
It
the
is
shadow creature
dangerous.
would then come here.
It sucks the life out of things and the energy.
That's less than ideal.
Yes, that's why we would have to leave into the desert to do this.
Why do you need the adamant armor?
To protect from the shadow creature. We have a plan to attack it started. However, we need the artifacts to see what exactly the details are of the plan. The plan is to trap it in a blackstone fortress
Not kill it?
and kill it.
And kill it. Okay.
We don't know that we can kill it. We know that the Blackstone Fortress should at least slow it at worst case scenario.
One of the male Goliath elders, he kind of the old lady kind of scowls and sighs. And since apparently the whole council speaks with a one voice thing doesn't mean shit to my peers, shoo, we need Sock. Just kind of like,
Okay.
go out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you step outside the leather door, and the Goliath guy with the toothed sword steps around you, and he reaches down and he flips up this piece of bone, and there's a little stud on the door frame, and he pushes it and sets it back, flips the lid back down, and like stretches up the leather so it like fits perfectly in the frame, and you can't hear anything going on inside. And
Our impression of this camp, are they nomadic?
no, nothing about this camp would lead you to think they're nomadic.
Okay.
Everything is,
They're well established here.
yes, they're well established here.
And we did see they were feeding piranhas. Right?
Yes.
These piranhas aren't attached to the ocean. They're in
No,
the-
these are big pens, like a fishery,
Okay.
almost.
So they do
Um,
have food, potentially.
Yeah.
The toothed sword Goliath looks at you guys, and he's got like a little smirk on his face, and he's like, "You guys want to see something cool?
Sure.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm Kovos, by the way.
Cassius.
Well, you guys give your names. Yeah, I heard. She inside.
Just being polite.
Grandma's a fucking cock.
She's your grandmother.
Yeah.
Well,
think we made an impression.
Yeah, great. I'm the I don't know, head fisherman, captain of the guard, whatever you want to call it. Come on,
what do they call you?
Kovos.
All right.
So this guy uses the armor, is what he's saying.
He leads you to the edge of the village, which is this artificial rise made from like piled stone and stuff. and it's obvious that it's piled stone and dirt that's obviously been packed down by time and people walking on it and everything. So it's this very stable like rise at the edge of the slope that leads down to the water. You're still about 3,000 feet from the shore, and the ground slopes away at like a 35-40 degree angle. So like it's something you can just walk up and down, but it's not something that like
you'd roll down it if you laid down.
Yeah, you'd roll down it if you lay down. It's not steep enough that you need climbing gear, but it is steep. So at the top of this rise are these 70-foot tall towers of bone. And they're kind of arranged in a line of like 12 of them. And at the top of these towers are these huge ballista things. Like, now I say things, but they're big-ass ballista. And there are crews like on each of the towers ready to operate them. There are stacks of extra harpoons and spears and stuff. Some are just like spears that tipped with like metal. Some are tipped with sharpened bone. Some are like more like harpoons, like meant to like catch in flesh or bury themselves, and they're barbed, so you can't retract them easily. These barbed hooked ones have metal rings on the end of the shaft of the harpoons that like something could be tied or chained to. Next to each of these piles of like extra harpoons and bolts, ballista bolts and everything, are these huge coils of rope. And you can see like on the sides of each of the towers, there's this metal pulley system bolted to each of the towers where like the rope could run through. And at a couple of the bases of these towers are young Goliath. Like they've got like big like bowls of grease and like fat, and they're just smearing it all over these thick ropes and stuff for whatever reason you don't know. So between the two centermost ballista towers is this massive like catapult aiming out towards the ocean, and it's on like this rotating base with like you could see like Goliath grabbing it and turning it, like 4 of them just like repositioning it. It can't really be pulled back or moved forward, but like there's a little bit of like a gear driven system that'll raise it up a little bit to change the arc of the whatever it flings. And whatever it flings is pretty small, because if the bowl is only big enough to fit like maybe a Goliath, it's not like you could pile like 4 dead cows onto it and poison a city. It's like one person could sit in it, and that's about as big as it gets. And next to this catapult is what looks like a big crate and a 12-foot tall statue with like canvas or hide or something over it. And you're looking around, and Kolos hasn't said, like, hey, look at this yet. He hasn't pointed anything out to you yet. And you see, like, boats everywhere. Some are varying size. Some could fit a dozen Goliath. Others could fit 1 or 2. And they're all circular, oval-shaped, like, boats made out of shells, like turtle shells or, like, crustacean parts, that kind of thing. And they all have, like, what might be described as battle damage. Like, there are huge scratch marks in some of them. There's pitting from acid, and you can see Goliath, like, going over, like, pasting, like cement, I don't know what you'd call it, like cementing, like, new pieces of shell on top of them, or that kind of thing. So the slope leading down to the sea is this 3,000 foot long network of just, like, huge bone spikes pointing towards the ocean, similar to the wall, but more nasty looking, I guess. And there's all these, it's just row after row of huge bone spikes. Some are 7 or 8 feet long. In between them, you see hunting traps, like bone and steel, like what we would describe as bear traps, stuff that you step on and then it clamps shut with huge teeth. Some of them are chained to the bone spikes around them. Others are just, like, thrown down. Some are, like, 10 feet wide. Like, these are huge spike traps. Looking around, you see, like, broken spikes and damaged spikes, and there are scorch marks on the ground in spots, like, and the ground is basically like that dried out silty sand stuff. And there are Goliaths scattered around this 3,000 foot long slope. Like, some of them are pulling out old spikes, replacing it with new bone spikes. Some of them are fixing up, like, the larger bear trapped looking things. Kovos has this look of pride on his face as he looks out over the kill zone, and he says, we Nasher take our fishing pretty seriously.
We can
He's
tell.
got this big dumb grin.
Considering we've never done any of it. It seems that way.
Yeah, we do some conventional fishing, like with he makes like the fisherman gesture of like the rod and the casting the.
Is that something we'd be at least aware of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not something that's done, but like yeah, it's a thing you might be aware of.
Like maybe it's stuck around since before the desert.
Could be.
I gesture at the catapult and the ballista and the bear traps. I'm like, so how do you do your fishing?
So, like, we do conventional fishing and we rely on the fisheries and stuff, but what we really rely on, what lets us feed tribes out in the desert, are the big boys, the serpents, the turtles, the giant eels. That's what we really fish. And so what we do is we send boats out. We send boats made out of, and he points to like the boats being repaired, the shells and the crustacean portions and stuff. We send crews out and they chum the waters. They'll go like a week out into the ocean, maybe 2 weeks sometimes, depending on what they find. And they'll chum the water and they'll lead them back here. And then they'll hopefully lead something big back here. And then we get them on the shore. We use the armor. We use the harpoons. And we just kill the fuck out of them.
How do you use the armor?
And, let's see.
I mean,
So one of the main things we do is a lot of times we got to get stuff onto the shore because, like I said, we mostly hunt serpents, the big serpents and eels and bigger fish. They don't go on land easily. So what we do, he slaps the catapult. We put the person wearing the armor in here, and he looks around and he kind of digs under the tarp and he pulls out this big braided metal cable. And it looks like it's been compressed by Goliath fingers on the end, like the metal has been squished down. We have him hold on to this. And we just put him in the catapult. And he goes out into the water. And what we do is we drape him with chains and hooks and stuff. And we just cover him in guts and meat and stuff. And hope that the big beastie out in the water takes the bait, grabs him up, swallows him. He hangs onto the rope, hangs onto the fish. We all haul on the rope, drag the thing closer and closer to the beach, up onto the shore, and then we kill the fuck out of it.
This armor is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. He's like, come on, I'll show you more about how we do, how we do things.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
So he leads you to the southern section of the camp, which is by far the nastiest smelling. Like this whole area reeks of rotting fish, and it's not hard to see why. There's this huge 100-foot long skeleton, and like I say, skeleton, but it's still got meat on it. And it's like a snake with long crocodilian jaws, and it's kind of lying on the earth. And there are probably 30 Goliaths swarming all over it, harvesting like flesh and meat and organs and all kinds of stuff. Like they're descaling it, they're skinning like the first layer of hide off of it, they're breaking apart bones and stacking them. And he says, we call it a storm eel. Dragged him up out of the sea 3 days ago. Back in the times of the gods, our legends say there were storms of rain and lightning and shit like you see from studs. These guys spit lightning. It's real cool looking. Super dangerous.
Spit lightning.
He leads you kind of around the whole area for a little bit longer, and you can see like sharks being processed, a couple silt sharks, which are basically bullae with like huge webbed paws, kind of. There are some big turtle corpses, bigger than some of the tortoises you see in the desert, which can get up to like 500 pounds and be like 7 feet long. And he's just kind of like, isn't this cool? Like, isn't this neat? And like, we fish. And just like, we feed ourselves, we feed tribes in the desert. Hundreds of Goliath are able to not starve because we have the armor.
So, without the armor, none of this is possible.
Like I said, we got the fisheries and like the smaller stuff. It's not like, it's no big deal to stand on the tower and shoot a harpoon out into the ocean and maybe you hit something, maybe you don't. But to really get a good supply of food, we need the armor to act as the hook for the big beasties.
So I think if we have to use the armor, we come back later and collect it. It's not next to, but it's fairly close to where we're going to try to fight him.
And
That's true.
You know.
You guys are kind of talking in this area, and a young Goliath girl comes up and she says to Kobos, the elders want to talk to them again. He's like, all right then. So back.
I think if we can get it now, we definitely should.
Well, my thought is, like, this isn't the only tribe that depends on it. But he says there's tribes in the desert. You know? And, I mean, being desert dwellers, we know how hard it is
If
to
they're
find
not
food.
willing to let us use it or have it, then yeah, we can use this as a bargaining chip. Say, hey, we're not looking to take your livelihood. We're literally looking to save Yafka.
And we'll be more careful with it than the last Goliath tribe we talked about.
We're not going to bring that up.
They don't need to know about that.
I mean,
We still have a spear of flame.
We could argue it's better now.
You could argue,
Does less damage, and it doesn't let you become lightning.
but
It's sentient, though.
but it's sentient. It still gets the job done,
It does get the job
and
done.
it can't be destroyed. Typically,
Hard to destroy.
it's harder to destroy. There we go.
Drop it in lava, see what happens.
If you drop my spear in lava, I'll kill you.
We have not tried dropping
With
blackstone
what
in
spear?
lava. Tungsten and ceramic work.
So you guys end up back at the Elder Hut, and Kobos kind of like tugs the leather away, and he's like, "Go on." And there's only one elder in here this time, and it's the spike wig lady. She says, "All right, I've spoken with the other elders. We looked into you a bit. Out here in the desert, we don't get much word from the rest of the world, so we hang on to studs that communicate and find out info. They're very handy. We know some of what the abandoned have done out in the world. You're good at doing and getting involved in fucked up shit. That's for damn sure." So
Donald laughs like that.
She kind of smirks. So I'm going to ask you, and you tell me true. Can you fix this fucked up world? And do you really need the armor to do so?
honestly, we don't know if we can fix the world, but we do know we need the armor to try. However, and at this point, it's like, I do know that you have a lot that depends on this armor, and we don't need it immediately.
Oh, is that an irony?
I did.
I just give you a real look.
Yeah. We don't need it immediately. However, we would like to trust that in the time that we do, you will allow us to borrow it.
Borrow only.
We're willing to part with it. We're willing to part with it, but not freely and not permanently. We got hunters, fishermen. I don't know why I said hunters. They're fishermen.
They hunt fish.
They hunt fish. That's a fair point here, real. We got fishermen luring a beastie from the deeps right now. Magic don't work so great out on the ocean. Not many know that.
Really?
You guys have no idea. If you guys are like,
Yeah, totally.
but your gut instincts are like, she's being honest. But we know they've lost a lot of lives, but there are enough of them to bring the beastie to shore. And they think we can take it. They're about 3 days out. I don't care about rains. We don't need rain. Every time it fucking rains, the water level rises, and that's not good when the water is full of the shit that the water is full of. We don't need rain. No more rain.
Okay.
No more rain.
Okay.
Okay. We're willing to part with the armor when you need it, but you're going to help us with this catch. That'll save some lives, and you're also going to hand over 1,000 gold. we'll call it a rental fee for when you need it. The gold we'll use for potions and studs from the cities. That's going to help us out when we loan you the armor. That's going to help us recover from hunts that we can't rely on the armor. If we loan you the armor and you run off with it, or you lose it, a lot of people are going to starve out here and in the desert. This isn't a decision we made lightly, but from what we can discover, you've been able to do some crazy shit. You killed Ardar Hargroove. You killed a mother dragon that even Hallie, a fucking blood raptor, didn't want to dance with. You got weapons made of Lujgao stone, and for some fucking reason, you carry around dragons like they're pets. And you got more dragons trailing in your wake out in the desert, hassling the borders of my camp. We're making a wager that you can do what you say you can do. So you better fucking do it. You follow me?
I follow you.
500 deposit. 500 when we pick up the armor.
Fine.
And for what it's worth, we all think the dragon pets are a terrible idea too.
They are!
Donald gives the 500 gold needed.
Okay.
Is dragon have we had dragon meat before?
Yeah, it's lizard meat. That's all it is.
Does it actually taste better than the normal
No.
Crosank meat?
Finely aged lizard meat.
It tastes like...
Alright, I removed 500 gold from Donald's inventory. So.
Okay.
I'll pay my part right now.
No, don't worry about your part. I have the deposit. I said 500 when we pick it up, so we can worry about that then.
So, alright. The catch is coming in 3 days or so. Your time's mostly going to be yours, but you're going to want to spend some time with Kovos for him to run down. I know you were hanging out with him just now, but he's going to want to run down a little bit more thoroughly about how we do hunts when shit gets up on the shore. We don't have the resources of a city, but we got a market you can do some shopping in as well. If you got a healer's touch or healing studs, we've always got lots of wounded or sick in the infirmary. And never enough studs to go around.
No! Donald says that to Cassius. As he looks at him, Cassius gave me that look, and he says, no!
You're all healed.
That would be really great for the tribe.
He was looking at the lantern, but what he was really reaching for was his healing dagger.
Either way! No!
The sad thing is I actually did buy another healing word stuff that works, but he's still trying to sell that it was a good idea.
Devil by healing dagger?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what this is all about.
We'll do what we can, man.
You got a man of learning with you. Something Compto. We got lore masters and teachers of our own, and they would surely love to sit and chew the sinew with him. For a spell.
He would love that.
There are hunters that head out in the desert to do hunt, and they can always use a hand. We got raw recruits and good training, and most of our veterans are focusing on the catch coming in and prepping and checking gear. Your time's your own, like I said. Make yourselves usable or don't. That's your decision. But definitely talk to Kovos. Go.
Okay. So
Kovos is standing outside the hut. He's like, "You guys want to learn how we do things? You guys,
Yeah.
want, you guys want to see the armor?"
oh yeah.
Come on. So, he takes you back to the catapult. Do you guys ask him any questions or anything on the way there, or you just want?
Ask him who wears the armor usually.
Me? If one of you guys wants to, you can
Maybe
wear it.
one of us should train with it. We're going to take it later.
It's real easy to use. I promise you. I'll show you. Just come on. I'll show you. You'll see. So he leads you back to the catapult, and there's the 12-foot tall statue and the crate under the tarp. And he sets his tooth sword down, and he grabs an edge of the crate, and he just whoosh. And the statue is actually a 12-foot tall suit of black armor that looks like it's designed for Lujgao. It's kind of like punched forward, like the arms are kind of at its waist, and it's kind of hunched forward. It's made of large scale-like plates. It's kind of slightly iridescent black material, maybe metal. You're not sure. The plates kind of completely seal up against. There's no gap. You're pretty sure that even if you tried, you couldn't find a gap between any of the plates.
Really?
Looking at it, The black material is kind of like faintly pitted in places, like so there's been damage to it from like acid, you think, but not like if they've been using this to fish for as long as that you think they have, like it's like a little tiny itty bitty pockmark. Rather than like being completely devoured by acid like any normal material would be. And there's obvious damage over the rear of the spine. The integrity of the armor on the spine is still completely sealed, but you can see jagged pieces of the shiny black material like kind of standing out from it, like there was something attached there and then it was just like ripped away. So there's fragments of metal like poking out from the back along the spine, but like the actual over the spine still completely sealed.
Phobos. What happened there?
No idea.
Before your time?
Before we had the armor, we found it in the last field. Not we, but our ancestors found it in the last field.
Do you know how long ago your tribe found this?
After the last battle between the gods and the Lush
This
god.
would be a great question for the
Eisman,
Yeah,
as far
Eisman,
as we
yeah.
know, he ripped the armor off of.
We found our tribe found. The stories say that our people served the gods. One of my ancestors, one of grandma's ancestors, whoever, someone saw the armor in the field, grabbed it, and we all left. That's all we know. Nothing. Like, I mean, look at it. It's almost pristine. Whatever did that was something of the gods. And he takes like a piece of like a bone harpoon, and he just like takes it like a bat, and boom. And the armor doesn't even flex. Like, even with nobody in it controlling it, like walking around in it or flexing their arms, like it doesn't even flinch, and the bone harpoon just shatters. It's fucking invulnerable. You get inside it, you're fucking invulnerable. But okay, so you're still looking at the armor, and there's this part that's torn away. The head of the armor, the helmet, you might call it, looks like this. And again, we get to see my. So it looks kind of like this. It's a little more rounded along the sides, but it looks like a helmet on a suit of armor. It's got these 6 black glass gems along the rim of the helmet, and then it's got a glass eye slit here, and then this is looks like a mouth spot, but it's covered in like black iridescent metal plates. So that's kind of what the helmet looks like. Just to give you an idea.
So, how did Eisman get under the pillar?
We don't know. Do we?
Did we ask?
It was a punishment, wasn't it?
Yeah, you assume.
So if
He never really specifically said.
I think that was one of the ones he bit his tongue on, but I was just thinking, if he claims to have killed the gods at the last field, but his punishment...
The
Well,
only
no,
guy
he only killed the... I don't remember which one it was.
The
god of spring.
spring.
Yes. So that was the only one he claimed to kill.
Okay.
You could infer that the other living gods chained him down. The crate next to the armor is full of what looks like piles of metal chains with giant fist-sized barbed hooks in them. And then there's that several hundred feet of coiled metal rope made from the braided strands that he showed you earlier. Kobo says, "This here's the adamant armor." You guys knew that. You guys figured that out. When you're in this form, when you're inside, you're invulnerable. What we do, like I said, is we put someone inside, cover him with hooks and offal, fling them at the creature. Almost always they get swallowed down, tear the thing up from the inside. We pull him, you hang on inside to like ribs or a spine or something, and we just haul it up onto shore. Once it's on shore and can't get away, we just kill it. It's real
Most
easy.
ruthless fish hook ever. Just like...
Hopefully the hooks catch in the meat, but if the hooks don't catch, you've got one hand free that's not hanging onto the cable, you just grab onto something. Other times we fight something bigger and nastier that like sometimes you find critters that can vomit up acid like dragons and stuff. A lot of times what we'll have the person wearing the armor do, they just swim deep as they can into the guts of the critter, just slash up the guts, keep them from vomiting acid onto ground crews as they kill whatever we're hunting. So he picks up the large metal coil of rope, and he finds the end of it, which looks like it's been crushed by Goliath-sized fingers. And he says, the armor don't make you stronger, but once you lock its grip on something, it doesn't let go. The rope also kind of seals itself together, so it doesn't come unwound even if you cut it. And you won't ever really sever it. We got it from the Knick-Knack tribe out by the pillars. They didn't say where they got it, but all the metal strands are kind of stuck together, and like he like grabs 2 strands of the metal and he flexes and it doesn't budge, like it's stuck together. And he takes like a metal axe or something, I don't know, and he chops into the braided metal, pulls the axe out or something, and it just kind of like seals back up. Like you could still see the cut, but like the metal seals right back up to each other, like something's pulling it together.
Like it's welded back together or something. Almost
yeah,
like
almost.
So.
Like there's no weld marks or anything, but it just like goes back together.
Huh.
And like he plays with it a little bit, and it doesn't appear to be any weaker than any other portion of the cable.
Like it's a magnetic steel cable.
Could be.
Well, what kind of axe did you say it was that you chopped it with?
I don't know. Fire axe, metal axe, wood axe.
You said
I don't.
metal axe,
I know. He said metal axe. It's the only thing I can think of on short notice. Like I said, metal is not super common, but it is present.
It's a non-ferrous metal he cut it with.
God damn it! I forgot the.
That's why I was assuming it's magnetic, and you said you cut it with a metal axe.
Yeah, I meant to put something in there. It doesn't appear that it's pulling the magnetic charge. If it's that, doesn't appear to be like pulling at your gear or any nearby metal. It just appears to be centered on the cable itself.
Do you need that rope for fishing too, or?
I mean, it's super useful because things have teeth and they chomp on things.
Yeah.
You know.
Unless we can invent a new way to fish for them, but I doubt that would do.
So he gestures at the 12 pound ballista, and he says, "Depending on how big the critter is, our ballista crews will harpoon the sucker to immobilize it, while ground crews try to hack apart its legs if it's got any. The bone spikes and traps down on the shore aren't super effective, but they can sometimes slow stuff down. We got different tactics for every kind of beastie. Serpents and eels are easiest. You just pull them up on shore and you know they suffocate because gills.
Because gills.
Because gills. One thing though, you got to be careful. The armor, it's only got an hour of air in it.
Only.
Once you get inside, you got an hour of air in there. So, you know, that's a concern. And if you get stuck...
Is that on land or in?
Yeah, once the armor is sealed up like this, it's only got an hour.
So that's even if you're on land.
That's even if you're on land. I mean, all you got to do is, like, you know, put it back to its other form and you can breathe. But, you know, if you're in this invulnerable form, you got an hour of air. And you run out of air, you die. Make sense? You guys want to check out the armor?
That has been known to happen.
Yeah,
You guys want to check out the armor? So he steps over to the armor and he grips the plates along like the front of the waist area, and like he's clearly straining and he just kind of almost like a garage door like opening, and he braces it, and like he's clearly struggling with the weight, and
so Turok's the only one that can wear this really.
There's a whining noise and the legs kind of split open too, and it reveals like this black padded cavity inside the armor. And like you can see like the holes in the chest piece going to the arms, and like the legs are, as I said, are opened up. And he holds it up and he's like, "Whoever wants to try it, get in."
Uriel.
I'll get in.
Okay, you get in. So Uriel hops into the interior of the armor, and it's all awkwardly sized because it's like 12 feet tall, so it's kind of like, ugh. It's super descriptive, right? And Kobos kind of like releases and like dodges away, and the chest piece slams down, and there's some metal whining and stuff as it slams down, and like something shifts inside of it. Like you could feel things like moving, like bars in a metal door, like sliding into place, and everything's like locking and closing in on you. There's some metallic whining as the armor starts shrinking, and all of a sudden it fits you like a glove. Like, perfect glove. It's still bulky and made up of all these sealed together plates, but it's much less bulky than like full plate would be, like if you were wearing full plate. Like you present less of a profile than you would if you were wearing full plate. And there's a pause for several seconds, and then the the black glass of that eye slit and those 6 gems on the forehead start to glow a bright, bright blue. And the armor kind of like straightens up, and you can hear this whining hum just at the edges of your hearing.
Okay, well, we got the armor. Let's go.
Falling behind you.
And then the whining fades, and the glowing glass eye slit and the gems dim from bright blue to a faint reddish orange hue.
Hello, Mr. Stark.
So when the eye slits and everything go blue, you can see perfectly. Like,
I like it.
And not just like your normal range of vision, but like 180-degree arc of vision, like more than you normally could.
Jesus Christ.
And like everything is kind of tinged faintly blue. You can feel how hot it is outside. You can hear everything perfectly around you, and then you feel strong. Like you know that if you start moving and start punching, things are gonna happen, and they're gonna be really fucking cool looking. But then as like the blue light dims to red, you just feel this massive weight on your shoulders. This is like all of the strength and everything goes out of you, and suddenly you feel just all this weight pressing on you as you're breathing rapidly in this stale air. And like your vision turns red. You stop being able to hear anything. You can't feel like the heat from outside. All you feel is this armor pressing against you.
So this is the like invincible state. It like just seals off.
Yeah. You are in the invincible state. And in front of you, you can see Kovos making gestures of
I do that.
Okay. And all of a sudden everything pops out. The armor. No, everything doesn't pop out. That's how you switch forms. That's what it is. You mimic Kovos' gesture, and there's a whines and clangs and everything, and the armor transforms. The helm is kind of the same, but those plates across like the mouth slit, those slide away to reveal like black bars of slightly iridescent material. All of the plates just kind of transform into like just minuscule chainmail links. The armor feels a little bit lighter. You can hear, you can feel the heat, your vision is still kind of reddish hued. The helm is mostly the same, but everything is like you can sense the outside world now. Kova says, now, in the sealed up form, you're real slow, but like I said, you're pretty much invulnerable. This form is a little less restrictive, but you're not immune to like toxic gases and stuff, and you're not nearly as resistant to getting bit and cut and shit. Any questions?
Is the light still reddish?
Yeah.
I ask him the significance of the light.
As long as we've had it, it glows blue, and then it glows red.
So it starts out blue for everyone, then it turns red, and then it just stays red?
Yeah. Until someone gets out of it, and then it goes dim, and then someone gets back in it, it goes blue, and it flexes like it's ready to, like, you feel that, like, you're ready to fucking tear shit up, and, like, you're super strong and shit, then that goes away, and it turns red.
There's gotta be a way to activate that shit.
Flex! Flex. You develop a hemorrhoid.
There's practice is the missing thing, though.
You think? Could be.
I bet I know who knows.
Crank?
Eisman.
Oh, Eisman, yeah.
Alright.
Well, now we gonna beat the fuck out of him.
So, I have to pee again.
He knows we're
So
coming.
you do.
I'm gonna pause.
We go beat the fuck out.
And we're back. So, alright. So, any questions for Kobos?
Has anyone figured out how to make it blue again like that?
Any cool tricks?
Like what?
I don't know. You use the eye. I don't know.
I mean, you just punch things.
Ollie K flips.
I mean, it's really impressive how resistant it is. Like, we tried spells, we tried stabbing it, you know, it's been chewed on by monstrous critters from the ocean.
I want to
Is any of
suggest
this
trying
damage from
teeth on
stuff
it,
you
but I
haven't
also
done
don't
with it?
teeth on it. I don't want to do that.
I think the pitting is from being used to fish with for hundreds of years, thousands of years since the last battle between the gods and the Lujgao, you know? I think the little if you squint, you can kind of see the faint pitting. Like, I think that's from being used for so long in the ocean. But other than that, it's invulnerable.
Interesting.
When there's like something torn off, obviously torn off the back, like.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that, but like, we didn't do it. It hasn't happened. It was there. It was that way. Maybe the gods did it. I mean, that's what I assume. The gods did it, or the Luzgau or something.
Don't want to brag. We met the guy who did this.
How big is the piece that's torn off the back?
It's all on the spine. It's all it's sealed over the spine, but there's also like jagged like plate pieces of black iridescent material like jutting up from.
Was it an oxygen tank?
Is the cloak black red?
What?
This was a dive suit.
No, the cloak is all like green scales. Like
We found the
Okay,
god's
it's a different
scuba gear.
iridescent. Okay.
That's what it is.
what?
They're just like the god's scuba gear.
Yeah, what's ripped off is the scoop tank. Jesus.
This legendary weapon, and it's like the god's like butter knife or something. Like hold on, what movie is that? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh, this toasts bread as you cut it. That's what the spear is like.
That would be great. I should have thought of that. Okay. So what do you guys want to do for the next few days? You want to ask Kovos more questions? Hang out with Kovos some more?
I might hang out with him.
I'm just hang out.
Tom wants to spend some time with the spear and with Kendara.
Okay. Just hang out.
His two love interests.
Yeah. Kandara decides that she wants to go
Not wrong.
Kandara decides that she wants to go help out in the infirmary. She's got the healing word stud, I think. So she wants to go to the infirmary. Like she's
Whatever she wants to do that, Dom will go practice the spear. And he does have one singular focus, and he's not even sure it can achieve this or that anything like this is even remotely possible. But whatever happens when he gets a critical hit, he wants to try to channel that on his own. Whether or not that's strictly like game mechanics wise, is just shooting a weaker like firebolt or something from the spear. He's specifically trying to get something like that to activate.
make a wisdom saving throw.
Saving throw?
Or make a wisdom check.
I'll do a saving throw. That's what you want. 19.
What's his charisma bonus?
+1.
Alright. Nothing happens. She's trying to understand Domino. Like, she knows he's trying to achieve something, but
She doesn't know what that is.
she doesn't quite understand what he's trying to achieve, but she knows he wants something from her.
Okay.
At some point, like over the next few days, Cassius having a little bit of time to himself. Is gonna try to hide, like, off somewhere private where no one can see him. He's gonna take the cloak that he's currently got on him. He's just kind of like pretend he's.
Inspiration.
Like, if someone catches him, it's gonna be like the parents walking in on their teenager, like, "Gosh, you need to knock when I'm home in my room."
So,
Oh my gosh.
that was excellent. You and Kandara head over to the infirmary, and you find that it's basically a large section of the camp, covered by a hide awning, supported by bone pillars. Dozens and dozens of pallets with Goliath lying in them, in various states of injury. Area reeks of vomit and blood and piss and shit, and it's not at all covered by the heavy cloak of some kind of like floral incense that's burning in some braziers nearby. You can see doctors or surgeons, that type of individual, walking around among the wounded. You know, they're treating them and suturing them and all kinds of stuff. Or suturing. Surgery is not a word. Suturing is. but they're doing doctor things and surgeon things. You also see 3 individuals walking among the wounded, tapping studs to use magic to heal.
Okay.
And just like your experiences with stud use, sometimes the user's fine, sometimes they sway on their feet or vomit, and sometimes they pass out and become a patient themselves. So it's kind of an inefficient system, especially when there's so many wounded. People come in with broken bones and bite injuries from the nasty fish in the fisheries.
Would it be possible to imbue the armor with studs?
You want to try?
I'm not sure if I want to.
I mean, you can always just, hopefully undo it.
Because I feel like that you would be like immune to the effects of a bad cast if it was imbued in the armor and not in yourself.
Garrick Monos would know. I mean, if anyone would, he would know.
I'm not going to attempt this.
Okay. So people come in, bite injuries, poisonings, acid burns from occasional falls into the seawater and the water in the fisheries and so on. Kandara finds a doctor. He's surprisingly young, maybe in his 20s, sweaty and harried looking and exhausted. She's like, "Hi, I have a stud. I'm here to help." And he's like, "You have a stud? All right, thank the gods. Go. Heal." And he kind of runs through the triage process of like people who are dying get studs, people who are kind of injured get doctors first to stabilize them, then get studs eventually when less critical cases are dealt with. There's 2 healing studs. One person has a stud that clears poison, which is a very frequent occurrence here in this infirmary. So Canadera makes it clear that she would like to help out for the next 2-3 days, right up until the fishermen bring their catch in. Can Domhnall make me a Constitution saving throw on the behalf of Kandara? Mm-hmm. Her bonus is +2. And she's proficient?
18.
18, okay, cool. That gets a +2 for a thing that's going to be tallied later. All right. Anyone else want to do anything?
At some point, I'll make my way into the tent.
Into what?
The tent.
The tent.
The
infirmary?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you heal with studs?
Yes, he's going to heal with the healing word stud, but he's going to make it seem like he's using the dagger. Like
Make a
It wasn't a waste.
This dagger.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay. 18.
Okay. Do you spend all just like Kandara? Do you spend days right up until the hunt comes in, the fishing catch comes in? All right, cool. That's another +2. Do you guys have Herber talk to some of the teachers and stuff? Is that something you guys
Yep.
do?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so your wagons and stuff are escorted into the camp, and you're given a little area of the camp to make your mini camp in. And you're like, "Herbert, people want to talk to you and stuff." And he's like, "Oh, fascinating. That's what he does."
Oh, fascinating.
Fascinating. Ooh. Does anyone go with him, or does he just wander off there by himself?
I'm in the tent, so.
I'm not doing anything else.
Okay. So you go with Herbert, and you find your way to an open area that looks like a school-type setting. There's lots of herds of young Goliath, standing around teachers. Most of them are learning, practical trade skills, like how to tan hides, how to make fishing hooks and cast lines and stuff, and that sort of thing. A couple are learning how to make bows. Some are learning how to make spears. And younger children are sat in circles with teachers, kind of teaching them how to read and write. There's also a small hide awning with an elderly Goliath wearing gray robes under it. He's got a long knife on his belt. He's kind of perusing this very old-looking stack of books. And he's like, he sees you approaching, and he looks positively ancient, like Herber levels of old, except he's lived most of his life in the desert, so he's probably 70 rather than 90, like Herber is. And Goliath kind of looks at you guys, and he's got one good eye. The other eye is like bisected by a scar, and it's all like milky white and stuff. And he says, "How can I help you, travelers?" And Herber says, "We're here to help. I'm Herber Comto." And the old elderly Goliath is like, "Oh, I'm Corma Render. I'm very familiar." And they just go back and forth, and they talk, and they're, you know. And Herber, what can I do to help? And the elderly Goliath, Corma, is well, we've got these books that could be translated, or you could lecture some of the children on some of the things you know about. I'm very familiar with some of your works, especially early masonry techniques of the peoples of the deep desert. That was very helpful in learning some masonry techniques out here. We don't really use them much because there's not a lot of stone that we build out of, but the mortar was particularly useful for in repairing some of the bone utensils that we create." And Herbert's like, "Fascinating."
Full circle!
It's come full circle. Herbert is kind of looking for guidance from Uriel. Should I do the books, which you know he would love to do, to research the books, or should he teach children and other Goliath things?
You should do the books.
You should do the books? All right. He flies at the books like a bird of prey descending on prey. And Corma and Herbert completely forget about you after that. They're just going over books, and Corma's like, "Some of these are journals, some of these are ancient legends of our people. It's all ancient languages. It's stuff no one speaks or knows today." And Herbert's like, "Aha! My white whale!"
My white whale.
All right, that will generate a +1. By doing things to help the tribe, you make it more likely that they will survive once you take the armor from them.
Oh. I thought you were saying like the tribe's like attitude towards. I thought you were keeping like a tally on all these things. And it's like, no, this is if they survive or not.
This is up this. Right now, you guys have a +5? Yeah. Although the armor generates a -4 when they give it away. So
We're still +1. That's good. That's good.
So, anything else you guys want to do over the next couple days?
You know, if they don't survive, we don't have to give it back. So.
That's true.
That's true.
I guess if there's any way I could help.
The elder lady mentioned hunting. She mentioned training youths because the veterans are all focused on like prepping for the catch coming in.
Would I have enough time away from
No,
the
you're
time?
stuck on infirmary.
Okay. Then I will
You're there 6 to 20 hours a day for the next 2 days.
I'll go hunt.
You hunt? Okay.
And then I'm in the tent. It's getting to be like the 10th hour, and then like the last 5 minutes, there's that one guy that comes in.
He's got a fishing rod stuck up his butt.
Yep. He fell on it.
Yes. What shot, Doc? So you kind of wander around looking for hunters. It's not hard to find them. They're near the butchering area Kovo showed you. There's about 24 of them, and they're mostly like 20-somethings, like 20-year-olds. They've all got spears and bows and light armor, and they've got several like sled kind of looking things with like harnesses to pull them, like piled with like water casks and spare weapons and gear. They look like they're getting ready to head out and just finishing up prepping their gear. One of them notices you approach, and she's kind of wearing leather armor studded with bone plates, and she's got this spear with this serrated bone point on it. She's like, "Hey, what's up, traveler?"
I'm here to help.
"Oh, cool. Come on. We're heading out. We'll be back in before the fish come in." Okay. How do you help? Do you like track? Do you focus on like defeating prey, or are you a tracker? What do you do?
Probably focus on defeating prey. I don't think I'm a tracker.
All right. Make an attack roll for me.
With the inclusion of bonuses?
Yeah. What weapon are you using?
I'm gonna use my my Blackstone longsword,
Okay. Everyone's really impressed by the Blackstone longsword. I think it's really cool.
and then it's a 17.
All right. Okay. You help them out. I mean, like, they focus on doing the hunting, and tracking and that kind of thing. But you're there when they bring down prey. There's goofing off and there's sneaking of booze and some dankness and that sort of thing. But once like you guys get on the trail of like some crowsank and stuff, you really like they focus up pretty quick. You spend some time out in the desert butchering the beasties and salting the guts and the meat and stuff, and then you head back to camp on 25th of 6th month. You generate a +1.
Yay!
You helped.
Ooh. This is how it's done. If you have a Blackstone longsword.
I'm gonna turn on my Shadow Blade and just look at it, just because I've yet to do so.
Okay.
That's it.
That's
I'm
pretty
just
neat.
looking at it.
Just looking at it.
Just admiring it.
Pretty neat.
Admiring its beauty.
It's pretty neat. It's pretty beautiful. It's got that real nice, like, midnight black sky. Little hints of stars.
In front of anyone?
I let Canathar admire also.
You and Canathar admire it also.
No, don't touch it.
Eventually, he's gonna start trying to shake.
It's very
with it or
cool to
something.
touch. So. So Metris kind of hangs out with some of the recruits, trains them a little bit. Candaris in the infirmary. The two cousins, they kind of hang out around at the patrolling the camp, just because there's a whole bunch of dragons out there apparently that keep coming in from the deep desert. Nobody knows what that's about. Food, but it's more meat on for the camp. These are hunters that are experienced killing monsters, and dragons classify as monsters. Karnan runs into some problems with some children, like trying to defeat his dragons, like kids trying to slay them, but it's all resolved. Unfortunately, he doesn't get any prey, predator, or pack points for it because he's not here. Fuck you, Karnan. So, the 23rd and the 24th pass pretty uneventfully. You guys help out around the camp as previously discussed. You form emotional bonds of friendship and respect. Herbero is well liked by everybody and talks everyone's ear off. Metris is helping with recruits, like I said. He's popular with the warriors. He's forming some bonds of friendship. You're pretty sure he's banging someone in the tribe.
Good for him.
Kandara helps out in the infirmary with her healing stud, like I said. Gemma and Nemba, they're hunting dragons and doing patrols with everyone. The tribe is pretty accepting of you all. You're not like given a place of honor or anything, and it quickly spreads that you're after the armor. So like not everyone is like super enthusiastic about you guys, but there's none of like the overt or subtle racism that there was in Cranham towards humans. And Turok is of course married to his second wife at this point.
The second wife?
Yeah, second wife. Because the first is in Wasp.
Oh, I didn't know if the first had separated.
Is this traditional Goliath fair or?
Sure. Everyone can have as many wives and husbands as they want. It's perfectly fine. And the government can't tax you for it.
And husbands. Wow, that's very modernistic of you.
Very accepting.
Yeah, very accepting.
There's no low-key racism towards humans in like there was in Cranham. As you spend time in camp, you feel this unspoken tension building as the 25th approaches. You've broken bread with these people, you've shared stories with these people, you've begun to get a feel for the mood of the camp, and you start to see warriors like standing along the line of ballista towers, like more and more often, just like staring out, like they can see what's coming. You can see husbands and wives being more open about PDAs. People are holding loved ones closer. Children are becoming a little less rambunctious. There's a lot less, endless games of tag and hide and seek going on around the camp at this point. There's a focus on productivity that wasn't there 2 days ago when you first came into camp. And there's an element of fear to the tension as well. It's not the crippling kind of fear that sends people running. It's the kind of fear for yourself and others that motivates warriors to hit harder and get up. or to make the kind of fear that makes a mother or father step in front of their child. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's the 25th of 6 month, and it's 11 in the morning. Are you guys all together? Are you doing things? You're on your way back. You're like at the border of the camp, so you're wherever you want to be. Are you guys in the infirmary? Hanging out with Kandara in the
Wherever
infirmary?
Kandara is, yeah.
Okay.
I'm in the infirmary.
All right. And you're making yourself busy in the infirmary as well. Like, you know.
I'm doing what I can.
Yeah. A lot of times people are too injured to carry themselves and walk, you know.
Yeah.
And you have some basic medicine from, like, you've been in the desert. You know how to treat some injuries.
Right.
So you're helping out. You hear a voice from somewhere by the ballista towers bellow, "Fishermen on the horizon!" Just like screaming at the top of their lungs, like super loud. And there's a pause where almost everyone in the camp is still and silent. And you hear Kovos bellow out at an impressive volume, Station 1 at the top of his lungs, just like booming over the camp. And everyone leaps into motion. Warriors head towards the line of ballista towers. Non-combatants head towards the infirmary, which is kind of on the northeast edge of the camp. From your talks with Kovos in the past few days, you guys know that this means it's time for you to head to the catapult where the armor rests.
Did we decide if one of us was wearing it, or... I don't think we did.
Did you?
Did you want to try and...
I mean, it sounds really cool. I would like to be flung into the ocean and eaten by a giant.
I think that settles it as long as they're okay with it.
Okay. So you head up
What
to...
better time to practice with it?
You head up to the catapult and find Kovos standing beside it. He's got a spyglass. He's looking out to sea. He says, "We got about 3 hours until go time. Take a peek." And he hands one of you a spyglass and sees that you guys already have spyglasses. He's like, "Take a peek."
I take a spyglass, just to be nice.
I have two now.
You guys look out.
Why isn't this a thing?
Thus binoculars were invented.
It's one's Goliath size though, so it's like
You look out towards the ocean to the west, and you see 3 boats that are more along the lines of barges made out of big shells. The barges have Goliath on them. Most are operating oars. You know, they're just like standard, like you see on Greek triremes in movies and stuff. And you know, these are big Goliaths, so they're pushing these barges through the water that no human oarsman could hope to match. Like, they are going fast for not having any sails. And there are Goliath wounded in the bowl of the barges, bleeding, and like the whole thing is just like slathered in blood. You can obviously see there are dozens of injured Goliath in these barges, in addition to those that are pushing them through the water. At the rear of each of these 3 barges are pairs of Goliath digging what looks like raw meat and guts out of these huge wooden casks and just like hurling into the ocean. And following in the bloody, meat-rich wake of these 3 boats comes a horrifying array of fins and shells and tentacles roving over the surface of the water. Sharks, shark-adjacent creatures, crustaceans of some kind, large slithering shadows underneath, just like that you can only see as a shadow under the waves. Octopi-adjacent creatures using tentacles like grappling hooks to latch onto other faster-moving creatures, as everything propels itself through the water, the bloody water, towards these barges. And behind this nightmarish school of scaled and shelled monstrosities is this huge dome sitting in the water of coral-encrusted shell. It looks like an enormous tortoise shell, maybe 100 feet long, 75 feet wide. The water literally boils around it. And you can see sharks and crustaceans and other aquatic life too slow to keep ahead of it, boiled alive, left floating as it passes them by. Kovos bellows out something to the effect of, "It's a turtle! Ground crews ready for assault! Scaling assault! Ready for scaling assault! Ballista crews, prepare for boarding actions!" And there's a flurry of motion along the ballista line. And you can see crews of Goliath picking up those, busting open crates full of spiked metal gauntlets and spiked boot braces and stuff. Like, so they've got these big, like, hook clawed gauntlets on, and they've got these boots with metal braces and spikes in them, kind of like rock climbers use, like just metal spikes that would drive into a surface and they'd climb up, you know? the ballista crews are switching out harpoons for those big harpoons with like the metal rings on the end, and they're tying those greased up ropes through the rings at the end of those harpoons, and they're feeding them through the pulley system. And Kovo says to you guys, it's a turtle. It's like a tortoise, but kind of aquatic. They don't have gills or anything, but they can survive for days underwater. And he kind of sounds a little grim as he says, we'll need to board it and head up to like the head or the neck and try to sever the spine, while ground crews fuck up the legs before it can make its way up shore and demolish the camp. And they're also hotter than a forge inside, which isn't a problem for whoever's in the armor. But it can vomit up scalding hot water and steam, which is pretty bad for the ground crews. So, how you guys want to do this? You want to assault the legs?
How far away is this?
3 hours. 3 hours and it will reach the shore.
Well, I mean, he's the one that's going out after it in the water, right?
You want to wear the armor, Kovo says? All right.
Sure.
We can fit so many bad boys in this bad boy. He lifts it up and puts you get inside, and it does the whole like glow blue, glow red. Yeah.
So I can hear.
Yeah, that's good. So, and he turns to you guys. Do you want to do ground assault on the legs? Do you want to board it to head for the neck to sever the spine?
Sever the spine.
That's what I'd say.
Well, you said that. Wait, the ground crews need what?
The ground crews go down to the beach. They assault the legs to keep it from making it up to assault the camp.
And that's where the heat is going to be a factor.
It vomits up scalding water because it's so hot inside of it, for whatever reason.
How close are people down there?
Dama really isn't too keen. I mean, like, on getting on this thing or near it. Really, like.
It's about
like,
from the ballista towers.
I mean, like, if I were to turn on my flame stud, could I reasonably keep 10 feet away from people at, like, its mouth? Not burning anyone else?
Probably. Its mouth's going to be about 50, 60 feet off the ground.
Okay.
Holy shit. This thing's gigantic.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's only 100 feet by 75 feet.
So, I mean, could sever the spine.
He
Is
says,
this relevant?
yeah. So he says,
That's big.
boarding it and trying to sever the spine is probably the most dangerous job. You gotta manage to stay on while it's thrashing and stomping around, and while still working to cut through the skin, which is pretty fucking thick and heavy, to get to the spine, and that ain't an easy task because the bone's pretty thick too. Plus, there's the beak to consider. They got long necks, so he makes a gesture exactly like this.
So you're looking into turtles before, and that's why you were.
What's that?
Is that why you texted us that because you're like looking into turtle facts before?
I had to do some research for this session.
Yeah, this is why he kept saying. Setting
Oh, hey, did you guys know this?
And he says, scaling the legs is risky to begin with. Getting stepped on is pretty much a death sentence, but once you manage to get up on the legs, the only real risk is falling off. We go for the rear legs, and the beak can't really reach that far. The only real risk is falling off. The safest job is really going inside with the armor. Kind of boring, though. You're invulnerable in the armor, and you just gotta fucking get down to that stomach and fuck that sucker up so it doesn't vomit scalding hot water all over us. The one risk in there is running out of air. So if the sucker manages to actually sever the line or pull us all into the water with it and drag the line into the water, you're pretty much dead because we'll never find you. And if you cut your way out of it, you'll sink like a stone in the water. The armor doesn't float. I know a lot of things float, but the armor doesn't.
Does it ever? I want the armor of buoyancy.
What's
when is
that?
that ever going to be a thing?
The armor of buoyancy.
maritime campaign. You got the one guy that wants to play the full plate metal paladin, and everyone's tired of fishing him out. So the DM makes the armor of buoyancy. They can't move in the water, but they can't drown.
So, you're going in. You're a good man.
Helm of water breathing.
Once the beast is in range, you set yourself down on the catapult. We'll cover you in meat. It'll be good. We'll fling you into the beast's path. Ideally, it goes after you, swallows you up. Otherwise, we'll haul you in and try again until,
Until it does take the bait.
Sometimes we get lucky and the armor hits the critter in the head and they go unconscious and we just got to reel them in. Sometimes that happens. I don't think it's going to happen this time.
It's rare.
Once you get into its throat, it's pretty simple. Just go deeper. The turtles, they got these huge spikes lining their throat. They're like bone or flesh or something. It helps force food down into the gut and keep it from coming back up when they vomit scalding hot water onto everything. So it's kind of like a catch system. That's pretty much going to keep you stuck down there. So,
So the only way you're getting out is the other way.
We'll cut you out, I promise. The bottom portion, the plastron, that's not very tough, so we can just cut right through that. Just keep a hold of that metal cable and get as deep as you can into its guts and cut them apart. Pretty straightforward. Any questions? Pretty clear on what you gotta do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You two. What are we doing?
Are we severing the spine, or are we cutting legs down?
I'd say the spine.
I think we can definitely sever the spine.
That's
You two are probably the most equipped to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm on the ground, I can resist the heat, but...
I ask anyone if they have a grappling hook, like Kovos specifically. I need a grappling hook.
What for?
Just, I might need one.
Okay.
Do you have one?
Yeah, we got. He hands you gauntlet claws and boots with spikes in them and rope and whatever you need.
Yep, I equip it all.
Okay. So you guys are gonna board. You're gonna get to the neck. All right, bold choice. He hands you these thick hide straps with metal rings on each end that are like grips. So like grip. Once the turtle gets ashore, the ballistic crews, they're gonna launch harpoons into it. Once they get a good hit, you slap these around the rope and you just slide on down that line onto that shell.
Nice.
The crews will work the pulley system. They'll keep tension on the line. Usually that's not a problem because like it's moving towards you, so we want to keep the line tense so you can keep sliding. That's usually not a problem. You just slide down real quick. Once you touch down on the shell, the crews sever the line so the beast don't tear the tower down. When it thrashes around. Once aboard, you make a break for the neck at the front of the shell, and you get to hacking away. It's prudent to carry a set of the claws and the gauntlets and everything, just in case you start to slide off. It's pretty slick up there. He points out to the shell, and you can see like there's coral and mud and all kinds of like silt and stuff. It looks pretty slimy.
Okay.
The shells are pretty slick and slimy, and with the turtle moving around and thrashing, it can be hard to keep your footing. Now, when you get atop the ballistic tower, the crew will aim where you want. You can go for the shell or the neck. Shell is easiest to hit because look at it, it's fucking huge. But sometimes you run the risk of slipping off on your way to the neck. Plus the coral can sometimes be dangerous. And you gotta wade through all the sediment and the muck. And the beak can reach some portions of the shell. So there's a lot going on that you gotta be careful of. Next
It's
harder,
like a snake right behind the head they can't grab, right?
the neck's harder to hit because it's all like, and he makes that gesture like with his whole upper body. It's harder to hit, but the harpoons tend to stick better. So, once you get on the neck, you can get right down to business too. There's that. Questions?
Let's do it!
All right. So, get into position then. You guys up there, you in the armor. No. Keep it in the. You know what you're doing. So, you guys go up on the ballistic towers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Uriel sits down in the bowl of the armor, the bowl of the catapult.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Some Goliath come by, they drape him in chains and secure him all together. They hook raw meat, and like the armor is in its kind of like vulnerable port. So like you're getting like raw meat and gunk all over you, and you probably have salmonella poisoning at this point. And this is kind of a hazing thing that they're doing. Normally they'd wait till right before like they flung you.
Oh.
Like you get the impression that this is kind of a hazing thing that they're doing. And like Kovos comes by and he's like, "What are you doing? It's not time yet!" So the next 2 hours are awful. Your blood is practically sizzling with adrenaline, but all you can do is wait and watch as the giant shell grows closer and closer, looming up in your vision. You still have yet to get a picture of the full size of the turtle or see its head, but you can see shadowed shapes beneath the water, and you know it's definitely bigger than 100 feet long. The camp is thick with tense silence as the Goliath barges scrape against the shore. Ground crews scramble to get the wounded Goliath. Like, Goliath are wading in the acid water, like, trying to get out of the way and out of the barges, and, like, you can see wounds forming on their lower legs and stuff. Like, nobody's, like, ate through or anything like that. It's just brief contact. But, like, everyone is scrambling to get out of the barges and get the wounded away from the shore. Kovos bellows out, "Armor ready." And it's time to seal it up. You seal up the armor, and you get your cable. It's placed in your hand. The Goliath crew operating the catapult. You can't hear any of this, but they're rotating the catapult to be right on position and everything. And you guys hear Kovos yell something like "armor away," and there's a thump and a crack, and Uriel is airborne. You don't hear the crack as it launches you, but suddenly you're in the air and you're flying, and then you hit the top of the arc, and all of a sudden you're whistling down in a way that you cannot hear because everything is silent around you towards the greenish water. You hit it, but you don't feel anything, and just the armor pressing in close against you, and you can see like everything red-hued, and maybe that's the light of your helmet, maybe it's the blood-soaked water you're in. You see bobbing meat around you, and you are sinking like a stone, and something shadowy cuts through the water towards you, all teeth and dead black eyes, and like a chunk of meat is gone from your shoulder, and tentacles wrap around you and they have no effect, and something is gnawing on your arm and you can see it and you're wiggling it, and you know. Do you have the shadow blade in one hand? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any studs? Okay. All right.
Well,
because you can't use them, because you can't touch them. Okay. And then you see it, a massive bone-colored beak, like a huge hooked scythe, coming out of the water, and it crunches down on the armor, and you feel faint pressure, like maybe a little kid like holding on your wrist as you an adult. And like you can see like this huge beak like scraping across the surface of the armor, like grinding against you, and then there's this long pink tongue that looks kind of like a big serpent, like a big snake, but it's just a tongue, like it fondles you a little bit, and now you're down in the gullet. And you're descending down a wet pink tunnel of bony spikes, and that's where your turn ends, so to speak. So once the armor's deployed, a huge line of 100 or so Goliath wearing heavy gloves take up this metal cable, and they grip it hard, and they start bellowing and grunting and dragging on it, like in an organized rhythm, like heave ho, heave ho. They gain ground and they lose ground, and like the Goliath fall away, and other Goliath join up, and some of them get injured as the cable drags against their arms and stuff like that. And it's not so much like they're trying to reel it in at this point; they're just trying to kind of guide it towards the shore. You know, like they're trying to like kind of guide it more forward. You know, they're kind of waiting for him to really get a good grip down in there.
Thinking of potential solutions for if we get a hold of Frank.
Infinite, I think. It doesn't take much longer for the turtle to rise out of the water. The shell gets bigger and bigger, and you start to see this huge head with angry reptilian eyes, a huge bony beak that could cut you in half or swallow you whole. Caustic water and crustaceans and bits of coral fall off the creature as it rises up onto the shore. The shell is maybe 200 feet long, maybe 130 feet wide. If you can do something similar over on that side for me.
I can.
Here, Dumbo. Or that's the butt. This is the head.
Yeah. That's
Sorry, I haven't drawn here. Just got some ideas for potential Blackstone lures if we could convince.
Go ahead and finish out that line for me if you would.
I'm like, okay, what does he have? Maybe he's got like something like a face mask for like a Blackstone giant helmet. We could, or a boat anchor.
Neck coming out of there.
Or you can erase that.
That's fine. I like it better that way. So, it's 130 feet wide. The shell is
How far from shore is this?
It's just stepping up onto shore, so 3,000 feet away.
Donald clicks his spear on.
Okay.
No. Donald nods at his spear.
Okay.
And it ignites.
Okay, cool. He does not click it on. It just ignites, and the stud becomes a slitted red eye. The skin of the creature's head and legs and tail is a dark green and has a pebbled, almost rocky-looking texture. The ground trembles slightly as its huge clawed feet stomp up on the shore. It's got long, webbed claws. The head shoots out of the shell like on this long, serpentine neck, long enough for it to probably reach the front, like, quarter of its shell.
We're climbing chains, right?
You're sliding down.
The turtle bellows out this hissing Godzilla screech that splits the air like thunder. And despite its immense size, it's only like 50 feet above the ground. Like the lowest portion of the shell edge is only about 50 feet off the ground. Yeah, it's pretty low to the ground for how big it is. Which is pretty common for turtles. They're not very tall. They're kind of wide. So someone bellows out, you think it's Kovos, attack. And the ballistic crews ready themselves, and the ground crews on the beach move towards the target. Its legs, specifically. Starts in that. First shot is done. Yes. That's texting me. So, your ballista crew operator. Are you guys on the same ballista tower or different ones?
I like to think we're all on the same one. That's what I was imagining.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ballista crew operator asks you, where you want it? Shell or neck?
Neck.
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 All right.
Agreed, Cassius?
Wherever, just throw me.
Okay. So he
Toss me!
He sights in, and he fires, and just skids off the neck. Just he's like, fuck! So he chops the line, and the line goes out and falls. So it's now round 2, unfortunately, for you guys.
That's all right.
Where are we here? So you're inside the turtle. You've just passed through the spiky throat region. You can see clearly. You have 180-degree arc of vision. Everything is kind of tinged reddish-orange. There's not much to see. It's just fleshy walls. Do you want to focus on pulling yourself deeper into the turtle's insides, or do you want to do some damage as you move through the turtle?
I'm going to focus on getting deeper.
Okay, good deal.
It's not perfect, but
I like it.
it's better.
We're on round 3 at the top with Cassius and Domino. Spear goes, the harpoon goes out. It's a hit, right in the neck. You guys hop on, slide down. You
So
guys,
round 3, does that mean I click on my spear? Round 1, does that mean I'm at 3?
yeah. This is round 2. This is round 2.
Okay.
Yep.
So, all right, you wrap the leather thing around the huge line. The ground crews pull tension onto it, and it's greased up like, I don't know, it's super greasy. And you just slide right down, land right about here. Where's your game? You guys are right on the neck.
Can I like they would like a jouster would ready a lance? Can I try to do that as I slide into the neck? Make my attack as I.
You can try, but first we're going to do one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we? You're whistling through the air, coming in fast against on the greased rope towards the neck. Make an acrobatics or athletics check.
Okay.
16.
16.
Sorry. 24.
Athletics,
All right.
that makes a difference.
Acrobatics.
Okay. You managed to land safely. If you're going to try and like joust at it, make a attack roll with disadvantage.
15.
15. Obviously you hit it because it's gigantic, but the angle of approach isn't right, and you just leave a scored line of black scorch marks across its skin.
But
You don't,
making it
yeah, you don't really hit it enough to penetrate.
understandable.
So the neck has an AC. Obviously you could hit it easily. It's just a matter of with it shifting around on you, like it's a matter of hitting hard enough to penetrate rather
Yep.
than can I hit this or can I miss this.
Okay.
So that's round 2. All right, your next round. You are deep in this creature.
Do we have can we give an example of where he's at
What do you mean?
with his mini? Just for his sake, or would he not know?
That's
fine too.
He's moving pretty fast down on to the insides, but I mean you're basically in the guts now. You're basically in the stomach now. And that's where you are. I don't know where that would be in a turtle. I didn't extend my research that far, but I assume we'll call it here.
somewhere inside. At least
You're near its butt.
At least we know
Near
where
his
he's
butt.
at. We know he's inside.
Oh, you drew legs! I didn't even see that!
Yeah, I drew the legs. I didn't do so well at the front ones, but I figured it's somewhere between a snapping turtle and a tortoise.
It's based on an alligator turtle.
Okay.
Alligator snapping turtle.
So I should have drew more clawy feet, but
So all right. Where? So you pass into what you think is the stomach. Looking around, you can see kind of melty sharks and Goliath and other fish and stuff, like stuff that's being eaten away by acid in its stomach. There's some debris, bits of stone and metal, fragments of a shell boat. What do you do? Do you start hacking away? Make attack rolls. Same thing. Yeah, just make attack rolls. It's really low AC. You'll be fine.
I have advantage because I'm inside it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are you attacking with the blade, the shadow blade? Did you make your wisdom save?
I was going to ask, do I have to make that before, or is it like a maintain?
You have to make it now, and then you'll maintain it until I decide that you need to roll again.
That's a 9.
Okay. All right. It's you.
Stab with the hilt.
I mean, you can hit it with the hilt if you want.
It wouldn't hurt.
All right. Go ahead and hit it with the hilt.
You know, I'm an action surge.
All right.
Do I get to re-roll that again?
Yeah. Go ahead. Try to stabilize it.
Okay, I got a base roll of 19. So
Okay, that does it.
Okay.
Flat glass with the sky inside it. And do I actually have advantage, or? Yeah, you have advantage because you're standing
Okay.
right inside of it.
So 18 to hit on the first,
All right, that hits.
and then 10 damage.
10 force damage. Okay. Do you have any additional attacks?
Ooh. And then the second one is 26 to hit.
That hits.
13 damage.
13 damage. All right. Good. Okay. You hack and slash with this glassy black blade, and you can see like the whole stomach around you is spasming and spasming and spasming, and there's blood and leaking outside of the stomach now, and it's a whole big ordeal. You've damaged it enough that it's not going to be able to vomit up the scalding hot water.
Yay.
So
That's perfect. That's good news for me and Cassius.
it is. So we're in round 3. We'll start with Cassius. You're on the neck.
I'm on the neck.
Yes. The first thing I need you to do is make a saving throw of some kind. As soon as I remember what it is, make a dexterity saving throw as you try to keep your balance while this neck is kind of like pulling against this cable and trying to like bite at the ground cruise, and not the head isn't really aware of your presence at this point.
16.
16. Success.
Actually, it's be 17.
Keep in mind, I did hit it with my spear, just not hard enough, and it still has no fucking idea we're here.
Yes. So you kind of find your balance and are prepared to move or make an attack. Or both.
I'm gonna move as close as I can to the shell
Okay.
and try to kind of like brace myself against the shell and swing at it twice.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
I did already. I rolled a 14 plus. I think it's 8. Hold on. Actually, it's plus 9, so it'll be 25 is the lowest.
Hits.
Okay. And then the other one's a 16 plus 9, so that would
That
hit
hits.
too.
AC
Yeah.
16 for the record. So
Oh, AC 16?
it's tough, but it's really easy to hit.
So the rapier I do, or the Skylass Cutlass is 16.
16 damage. Okay.
And then my offhand with the sneak attack is 12, 17, 18, 19, sorry, 23.
How much? 23 and 19.
Yep. That was 6 necrotic total.
Okay. Okay. The second the skin, the pebbled, thick green skin starts to like blacken a little bit from like the necrotic abilities of the teeth, it just lets out this like screeching roar, and this neck, which is about 60 foot long with the head on the end, turns around and starts coming back towards where you guys are.
Cool.
You're up.
Damn it, Cassius!
What else was I supposed to do? They said cut the damn thing.
Roll all my attack rolls at once.
Yes,
Each designated, and then.
I would have a...
Oh, first I need a dexterity saving throw for you.
Yes, you do.
Keep forgetting. AC 16. So.
Alright, I'm gonna redo all those rolls then. 15 plus 5.
Okay,
18.
good.
Good?
Yes.
I mean,
It's actually about 60 feet from the neck to the ground, so just bear that in mind. That was inch 50.
I just got slow fall.
Yes, you did.
Okay, well, that's a natural one, so that misses. I don't know if you want to do anything about that.
Not really.
And then 14 plus 9. So what's that, 25?
Yes.
25 to hit.
Yes.
For that, and then for my offhand attacks, a 26 and a natural 3, so that one misses. So
The AC is only 16, so.
maybe a 9 then? 3
Yeah.
plus 9. How much is it?
16?
This sells it.
Okay.
Alright, so my offhand damage for the one is 2 plus 5 for my unarmed strike, and that's 7 bludgeoning damage.
Alright.
And then 3 radiant coming up, or 3d8 radiant coming up. 13 radiant.
Good show.
Thank you.
That it?
That is it. That's my
Alright.
turn.
Super. You guys are chewing through its neck pretty quickly. It's searing away skin and rotting away skin and stuff. You're not quite able to see bone yet, but you've carved out a crater with your sword and your spear. And now it's the beak's turn.
Beak. Not the animal's turn, the beak's turn.
The head's turn. Like this thing is constantly in motion. It's stomping and stomping on like people. There are dozens and dozens of Goliath like trying to scale the back legs, and like it's stomping on them, and like there are additional ballista bolts being fired at the legs and the head and the legs in the back and in the front. The tail's just kind of wagging along behind it. It's screeching constantly. The ground is trembling and thundering and that sort of thing. And the beak comes back towards Cassius right here at the edge of its shell.
Hold on.
19 versus AC.
I'm just checking because I got a new, like... What is it? I'm going to take an uncanny dodge to have whatever damage it hits.
Okay.
But, it does hit.
Okay.
So.
How does uncanny dodge work?
When an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to have the damage attacks against you.
Oh, all right.
I'm assuming I can see it.
Yes. You can see it.
Okay. But that's my reaction.
That hits. So. And that beak comes down. 15. 26 slashing damage as that beak just grazes you with the sharpened hooked portion, and you uncanny dodge.
Is that already half then?
No, it's not halved.
Oh, okay. Thank God. I thought it was. I'm like, oh no.
So it's going to be 13.
Yes, 13 slashing damage.
Okay.
I was really looking forward to like Carnan being here and being able to do some really great descriptive text of like the bone beak like grinding against his black stone chainmail and stuff. Sadly, Dave has betrayed me. So
am I in its mouth now, or
no, like it just kind of like.
Okay.
But you like uncanny dodge, like ah.
Okay.
Chopping at it with the cutlass, like let me go.
Let my
It doesn't like the taste of you, that's for sure. So it is now.
I got a 19 for the save. And then a 23 and a 17 for hits.
Nice.
For a total of 25 damage.
Excellent, thank you. You don't have to save for anything though.
Well, to continue the...
Oh yes, the will. That's fine. Yeah, it's kind of like concentration with spells. Like once it's on, it's on.
Oh, okay.
But if like something super disruptive happens to you, which won't because you're completely invulnerable.
In normal situations.
In normal situations, like if you got stabbed or something, you'd have to like make a check
Okay.
to keep it stabilized. But right now, you're pretty much invulnerable. So just keep plugging away down there, buddy. Because you are the only thing stopping it from doing like 80 damage.
Now, in my conversations with the guy, I don't remember his name, the
Kobos?
fisherman guy, Kobos. Like roughly how long do I think before they start trying to pull me?
There's pressure coming on you right now. But at this point, you're kind of like you've got like hooks that are stuck in its stomach lining and stuff. So you're not entirely in control of how you move right now because you're being tugged and it's being tugged and like the cable is caught on some of the spikes in the throat area. So like if you wanted to release the shadow blade and lose it forever, you could grab onto like the guts, or if you wanted to release the cable, you could grab onto its guts. But you're fine. Mostly they use you for when they drag it up to shore. And for keeping things from vomiting things onto other things. Your role is very important, but not very exciting, unfortunately.
At least I know I'm safe.
You're
for about
safe.
an hour.
You're safe for about an hour. So Cassius, Dom, no, you guys are up. Cassius.
I'm going to click on my flame step.
Okay.
I'll read it here again.
So now it's just two brightly lit
Just like-
individuals. Seeing who can sweat out the first one.
Well, if he's got his thing on, I'm thinking like I might need some fire resistance here soon.
It's getting hot.
Okay, I just gotta pull up. It's an action to cast, but I don't remember the wording of.
Okay. Also make the dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Keep your
yeah.
Sorry. Keep forgetting that.
I'm gonna spend a luck point. Yeah. It was a 2. Not a 1.
A 2.
A 2. So 15 plus 9, I think.
Yeah, 20
Yeah.
for that.
Something. Okay. So immune to fire damage, resistant to cold. Any creature that moves within 5 feet of you for the first time on a turn or ends its turn there takes 1d10 fire damage. You can use your action to create a line of fire 15 foot long, 5 feet wide, extending from you. Fire, so. Okay.
That's your action.
That's my action. I'm gonna stay put. I'm not gonna really move. I use
Roll
my
some
action.
fire
to-
damage.
Fire damage.
Yeah, because you're on top of it and you're burning. So now it's
Okay.
burning and taking damage.
Okay.
That's what it does, like when something's. Okay. I think it's 1 damage.
1. It takes 1 damage.
Well, you know, it is damp.
Yeah. Maybe I'll burn. I burned the moisture away. We'll get them next time.
So first thing is dexterity saving throw, right?
Yes. Thank you.
15?
Close. Yes, you got it.
Okay, I didn't know what you meant by close. Okay. So, as a bonus action, I see that I have my spear on. Cassius just cast Investiture of Flame. I flick my sunglasses out and put them and then I roll all my attacks. So 5 plus 14 to hit.
You maybe it's because it moves, but you don't get enough strength
Okay, nope.
to penetrate the skin. Fully
24.
before that hits.
Okay, so that's a hit on my.
And there's also this giant beak like chomping at you
Right.
guys, so that's an additional thing
Understandably.
to dodge and like try to.
So I got a natural 20 for my one offhanded attack.
Excellent.
So we'll do that first. 2 plus 5, so 7 plus 1, so 8 bludgeoning, then 27 to hit for my other offhand.
That hits.
So another 3 bludgeoning. So 8 plus 3 bludgeoning total for my offhands, and then this is the 1 spear hit that hit. 14, 15, 19. Radiant.
All right, you have fucking sheared through this thing's neck. You can see the bone of the vertebrae. The AC to hit it is now 18 because bone is much harder and tougher than skin.
Come on, Cassius, we got this shit.
Oh yeah.
You just drop a tooth in there.
Just drop one tooth down there. So now it's the beak. The beak, I just like calling it the beak, like not the turtle, the beak. So this turtle is like screeching and deafening you guys. You're the one standing over this huge hole in its neck, and it just comes at you. Huge head biting. 23.
Oh yeah. Oh, wait, is this a ranged attack? Can I deflect missile?
27 slashing damage.
Yeah, I think I have no choice but to take all that, so I do.
Domino tries to ghost out of the way. Just like his whole torso severed. Like maybe you get up the Blackstone shaft of the spear to like keep it from cutting you in half, but like you're hurt.
Yeah, that was like half my health almost, so yeah.
I rolled a 10, and then a 7 and a 3.
Cassius! Don't get hit!
I got this. Doesn't hurt that much.
Armor boy.
I was bit once.
My sweet, sweet prepared armor boy.
I'm prepared. I let you down.
I was just injured.
Ooh.
Well,
Ooh, well.
first attack does not hit,
Okay.
even with the advantage.
Kind of flail around. Like, oh, it's moving too much.
And the second attack does not hit, even with advantage. I rolled a...
Wait.
What was it, a 5 and a 7 before, and then I rolled a 6 and a 6, and it's just not enough.
So
Do you
you...
have advantage right now?
Huh?
Do we?
I'm
have
No,
inside.
he does because
So,
he's
like,
completely
okay.
I can
surrounded.
just swing.
He's
Yeah.
surrounded by turtle.
Yes, he's surrounded by
I can't
turtle.
miss.
But his swinging is, he's off balance because the turtle's stomping around and, like, he doesn't really get a good cut in.
So basically, he's just trying not to fall on his sword right now, but he has invulnerability armor. So
Yes.
Essentially,
Um,
yes.
You can't really hear or feel anything, obviously, but suddenly, like, all the water and fluid around you just turns to steam and fogs up your eye slit, the eye slit of your visor. But it quickly passes, and you watch this cloud of steam just...
Oops.
our turns.
Yes.
Watch out!
So at this point, I'm going to take both of my swords, sweep down like in a scissor motion down below me. Like I got a 21
Nice.
and a 23
Nice.
to hit.
Damn.
I got 16 for the Scarlet Cutlass, 9 of which was necrotic, and a 15 with the sneak attack of my short sword or scimitar.
16 and 15 is the damage,
Mm-hmm.
so 31. Excellent.
I am about 6 points away from 100 damage with the.
Okay. Did you dexterity saving throw? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I keep forgetting that.
So do I, but it's 17.
Okay, you keep your balance. Dexterity. I remembered. I'm proud of myself.
14.
That's the cutoff point. That's a success.
So
I wonder if the
Okay.
armor like protects the user from magic, or like doesn't allow magic to pass through. So like after this, I would like
my
to
first 2 spear attacks
test
first.
that. Because then we
14,
could use like a
that doesn't
telekinesis,
hit.
something so I could communicate
Then a
with you guys.
17
Yeah.
plus 9, so 20.
Take a couple levels of
yeah.
Warlock.
That one hits, right?
Yeah.
AC's 18 for the
I was thinking
bone.
to buy it.
Well, you can't
So much
there's no
tougher
Warlock
than flesh.
campaign yet.
That's
This is if there was an entity you wanted to make a deal with.
16
I mean, there is.
Oh, there is.
plus another 14, so 16 plus 14 is 30.
30 damage.
30
I forget how to
radiant,
contact it.
and then my offhands.
I'll just write stuff out.
Okay, that one misses. 12 plus 9.
Like the
Turns out the
trumpet.
shadow monster can't
21.
read.
21 damage.
That one hits, right?
Oh,
No, it's 21
Oh, 21 hits, yes.
And then that's a 9 bludgeoning.
9 bludgeoning. Okay.
And that's my turn.
So you're looking down at this huge vertebrae, and it's cracked and chipped and partially rotted and partially on fire and shit.
Oh, I gotta roll the d10 damage for the fire. Another 1.
Yes. The turtle screeches and exhales this cloud of roiling, boiling steam across you guys and its neck and its shell.
What happened to your reel?
Let me find the stats here.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and make Constitution saving throws. You're immune to heat, aren't you? Fire damage.
I am immune to fire.
You're fine.
Okay.
Are you immune to fire?
No, but I got a 20.
He's
to
resistant to
save.
cold.
That's good. You take 17 fire damage.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because save for half. You succeeded, so you take half.
That was half?
Yeah, that was half.
Okay, I'm starting to look pretty fucking beat up.
Don't worry, I got you.
I mean, I'm okay.
My good armor boy.
I'm at about a third.
I wasn't ready this time either. The good news is I hit
That's good.
17,
That's good.
17, and a 25.
Those hit.
And then 15 damage total.
15 damage total. Okay.
It's a pretty poor roll. It's like I got a 1.
It happens. It happens.
Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw.
I remembered.
You did. 12 plus 9, 21.
Fuck off.
I am a dexterous character.
Yes, I know.
An acrobat. So.
No.
16 plus 9, 25 to hit on both attacks.
It's dead. There's no way you could deal less than 4 damage.
Oh, I mean, I rolled all the damage.
Do you deal more than 4 damage?
I'm at 100 damage with necrotic, by the way.
Oh,
Cut its head clean off.
okay. So you plunge the Scarlet Cutlass down, and you rake those claws against the vertebrae, and it just splits apart. And there's just spinal column and spinal fluid, and you just... And all of a sudden, like it stops for a moment, the turtle, but then like inertia and gravity assert their control, and it just kind of... How do you guys get down?
I guess I'm gonna ride this bitch.
I'm gonna do, like, when it hits the ground, I'm gonna try to, like, cartwheel off its nose.
That's what I'm gonna. Instead of a cartwheel, I'm gonna try to do more like a tumble, like an actual maneuver, instead of an acrobatic thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that, like, I'm trying to make a big deal of it, like, he's gonna like, do the whole, like, gymnastic, like, arms up in the
Acrobatics
air.
check.
I'm just trying not to break a shoulder.
Not to break a shoulder. Athletics check?
Domino likes that.
Have I noticed it's dead?
You have no idea. You can't hear anything.
27.
27.
Something's happening!
17.
Okay. You guys do your best, but you still take a little bit of damage because you just fell 60 feet on top of a giant beast.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, 10 damage. 10 bludgeoning damage just from falling and, like, crashing. And
Is the
fine.
ground a creature I can see? I don't
Yes.
know. It is.
I'm making a perception check for you.
Okay.
You said you hit 100, right?
Yeah.
Cassie's is 3 plus.
I don't know if my perception...
I think it would have gone up because you're proficient, so it'll be plus 4.
I don't think I'm proficient.
I thought you know.
Nope. Or no, I am. Okay, so it's plus 6.
Plus 6.
I forgot I did take proficiency in it.
So as you're riding this immense beast down, you're looking at the 3 talons on the Scarlet Cutlass, and you cut a very imposing figure, and like they don't look more whole, but they look sharper.
Okay.
Like the edges and the pokey bits are thinner and sharper and pokier. You get +1 necrotic damage to the damage dealt by the teeth.
Okay.
Those teeth. The teeth on the cutlass.
Those teeth. Okay.
Yes. +2. It's, hang on.
I'm just going to put a note next to it. Because they deleted my initial Scarlet Cutlass out of here.
+2. It will be +2. And then, if you want to keep a running tally for something completely unrelated, just let me know when you deal 200 necrotic damage with the Scarlet Cutlass.
Okay.
It's not important.
Okay.
Oh, so that was him just dealing 100,
Yeah.
and they got sharper, and
Yes.
now deal more damage.
Yes.
Still haven't crit yet with it.
I've only crit once with my spear, too.
You did twice. Last time.
Was it twice?
Do you just keep slashing away? Like, okay.
Yeah, we got
well.
we got to figure out what happened to Uriel.
I notice it like something happens, the rest shifts, and I'm like,
Are we still out in the ocean? Like, this thing has to be now pulled in, dead weight?
Oh yeah, yeah,
We're on the shore now, right?
yeah. It's a little bit up the shore. It moved to. It's been about 8 rounds, so 50 seconds. It's a national record for killing a giant tortoise.
We fucking told you we're awesome.
So
That's like 3 of us.
that's why I was like, this is gonna be a lot easier to do with just 3 people, I think, rather than 6. Not gonna be hard to. Like there was stuff like attacking the legs could do, like it would make it easier to succeed on the checks to stay balanced.
Okay, yeah.
And if you had gone on the shell, like there's a whole like issue of like critters being in the coral and slipping and sliding on that, but you did fine. So you're on the ground. This giant tortoise is dead. Crews immediately get to work like on the side of the turtle, like digging into the plastron, which is the underside of a turtle shell, and like just like hacking it away.
Donald helps because he wants to get to Uriel.
So at this point, your spear is doing 8d6, and you're just like just melting skin away, and like you have no idea what's going on. You can't hear anything. You can't feel anything. You're just hacking away with this glass sword, and you start to see a light over there. Like a strange light, and you can see like motion, and like you think you can see like a black figure in armor, and like eventually you meet, and Uriel's just like hacking. There's this shredded mess of like stomach all around him, just like like you see, like at one point,
saying, "Okay, I'm gonna go out now."
Like at one point, you think he diced up a shark.
I'm just swinging.
And now you can see Domhnall, and like he's got his spear, and like you see other Goliath behind him, just like what? This
shark. This is definitely an organ. I'm gonna keep going.
This looks important.
Do you pop out of the armor? Okay.
I look at his reaction to the smell.
Okay.
So I wait till
I'm gonna wait.
I unclench the rope and I leave through the exit.
The rope like kind of eventually.
And then I...
Okay. Alright, you can breathe fresh air now. Didn't come anywhere near to running out of an hour of oxygen. But you're fine.
That was cool.
So, Kovos kind of comes up to you guys, and you're all like standing there, and Fuck!
Donald clicks out his spear, lays it over his shoulder. Do we do good?
Oh, I turned my thing off too.
Yeah, both of us just basically stopped being on fire.
Kyle, what?
Kovos is just like everyone is like the Goliath like ground crews, like a lot of people died to take this thing down. Like the ground crews like fighting against the feet, like there are always high casualty rates among them, but they didn't get drenched in scalding steam. You guys did, and he stopped I think like 2 or 3 blasts of steam.
Yeah.
Like this is a huge win for them. The loss of life is a third of what it normally is in a battle with a creature of this size and this deadliness.
More mouths to feed.
Yes.
It would have been a +10.
We're too good, guys.
It's now a +5.
You guys are heroes. Like this camp, like you guys are fucking rock stars. Kovos is just in awe of you, and like there are kids like scrambling around you, like I want to see show us your spear, show us your spear, show us your sword. You know, and these kids are of course about your size because Goliath.
These kids that are our size.
So someone's like picking up Cassius. Show me your sword. Show me the sword. Can you be on fire again? I want to. Oh shit!
So he uses the entertainer thing and kind of like has everyone like stand back like a couple feet, and he pops on the flame thing.
I forgot to roll when you activated your stud.
Oh.
But I just rolled an 81, so it was fine.
Okay.
It's all good.
So he pops it on again. I guess roll it.
Roll that shit again. Let's see if we can break it.
65. That's nothing.
Okay. So he
That's in the normal range.
does
or
a
the not that bad range.
performance check, kind of flourish of his blades over his head and big circle. Now he crits.
Everyone's really impressed.
Okay.
There are ladies in the crowd and some men that have made it very clear that they are very intrigued by you.
Noted. He's kind of curious how it would work out with like when he saw Metris going into a tent with like a lady Goliath like huge like bigger than him. He's been kind of trying to figure out the logistics of it himself, but
He's intrigued.
he's intrigued. Like
Donald wants to find a bath, real bad.
Finds bad.
there's a big ocean out there.
There is a big
No,
ocean.
down the
Oh, right, yeah.
No, not in acidic water.
There's not baths per se, but there is like
Exfoliating.
a bathing area because like one of the big concerns is like getting acid on your skin and getting it off quickly. So like it's more like industrial shower than bathing area, like a relaxation area. But if you make your desires known, people will accommodate.
I want this blood and gunk off.
Okay, get a nice little bath going.
Alright, cool.
Kovos is just sitting by the catapult, just watching the crews work on the turtle. Fuck. So, hours pass and night falls, and like crews have been working on this thing all day, and it's party time, and it's insane.
Could you imagine if Turok was here with his shadow spear, like just cut the shit out of the turtle and just poop out?
That was something he could have done.
The entire inside of the turtle is shadow.
Yes. Yes. There is some issue with like using it to go inside of a living being as opposed to near one and into its shadow, but it wouldn't be too much of a problem, I don't think. So yeah, it's party central here tonight. There's booze, there's all kinds of salted and cured fishes and meats from the sea. There's shrimp and things that are shrimp adjacent with bigger claws and lobster and lobster adjacent creatures and all kinds of stuff.
Never having had seafood before, the smell's kind of like weird, but he loves it.
Yeah, they make good They make gumbos and chowders and all kinds of stuff. And all of it has like a faintly acidic quality just from, the ocean and, these creatures are nasty, poisonous creatures generally. It's good. It's good food.
I draw Cassius off to the side of the celebration because I want to do an experiment. And I cut my finger slightly, just so I'm hurt a little bit. Then I ask him to use his healing spell on me, and I enclose myself in the armor before he does it.
Okay.
Just to see.
You activate it and you're trying to find a target. You can't find a target.
Can I take the healing dagger out? Try to hit the armor with it?
The missing piece reforges on the armor.
The interesting thing is, like, you're in the fully invulnerable mode, right?
Yep.
So, like, the interesting thing, like, you guys can compare notes later, is that the armor isn't so much rigid as it flexes back at incoming force. So you stab, but when you stab, instead of just hitting like you're stabbing like flat armor, there's a pushback to it. Okay. Like it's like the armor flexes in response to force to keep it from harming.
And this isn't Blackstone.
No, this is not Blackstone. It's kind of iridescent, kind of shiny, kind of almost like it's got like a shine to it, almost like a soap bubble. Like in certain angles, it gets that kind of multicolored like hue to it, but it's primarily black and shiny, and a little pitted.
And then I asked Kerber to look into what he was saying about the Shadow Blade and it being like an echo of itself, of its former self or whatever.
I have no idea where to even begin. It's a whole new adventure.
So
Herbert's been drinking.
Having observed this fishing in action, and that Cassius is going to kind of like try to think of something that can make like a substitute, at least temporary substitute. Like I've drawn up a couple of sketches of potential things that might be able to be made if we can talk to Crank Manos. Because obviously we can plan when we're going to do the attack, and he's got his thing. But I got a couple ideas where you can take like a chain with some like Blackstone like picks or grappling hooks or something attached to them, or like a Blackstone anchor, or even like face masks of like maybe a Blackstone helmet for like the giants, and then put hooks on it and then throw that in there and put chum in it. And
Even just a couple Blackstone hooks would probably.
We have the
they're
Blackstone
essentially
arrowheads,
indestructible.
but
Yeah, what I'm saying, if you can make a Blackstone hook that's basically indestructible, that'd probably almost achieve what someone in the armor achieves. Like, that's essentially all the person in armor is doing is
Yeah.
they're a really strong hook.
And in the creatures that do have some belly crazy ability, like dragon type creatures that can vomit up stuff, they can help stop that, which is a valid concern.
yeah, I mean it's not a endo fix, but
It
at least
helps.
for the time,
Yeah.
you know, like obviously
But
we're giving them their armor back.
We
but,
should probably find another blade of bone and flame
yeah.
before we go back to Carrick Monos.
No, I meant, hey bud, you got any of this? Like,
Oh, that'd work too.
he's gonna just try to describe it to him. Like,
We still have to go see
I think
that.
he'd be interested because he hasn't seen it. You know.
Not Goliath. The thing made of silver.
Golem.
We do.
Golem.
But we can see him on the way to fight later, right?
Well, the next thing we were thinking about was like below Millen, right?
That's
we're like-
that's where rumor of a blade and bone flame.
So we
is.
can like head to Crank and then head
There's
that way.
a rumor of a blade of bone and flame in Menem,
Okay.
I think, and one in the Visage of Ash over in the desert in this area somewhere.
Okay.
And Crank somewhere in here.
Crank somewhere in there.
So we
that's
hit
fine.
that and
we
then
can
go-
stop on the way there.
I mean, like we could try a couple of these and they could see what works best. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in the meantime, they've got the armor. Like he can actually physically go in there in the armor and see, like how it's working.
We should get.
We could get them made and
nice.
then just test them out. So if we know if they,
Yeah, we do need to get cranked.
I want
because we can go to that like
I
force
want
field
to
place
ask
and try it later on.
the tribesmen here if they could help me fashion like a necklace out of sea monster bones for Carrick Monos, just as like an appreciative gift to give Carrick Monos.
Yeah, Kobos bring. Yeah, we be chewing out of fish stuff all the time. Come on, I'll show you. He shows you this supply, and it's all like human or Goliath sized, like fragments of bone and shell and stuff. Some of it's multicolored, some of it's just painted, some of it's got carved figures on the bone and stuff. He's like, "What are you looking for?" Like, and he hands you like a human sized piece of twine.
Something a little bit bigger.
He hands you a Goliath sized piece of twine.
Something a little bit bigger.
He holds up a human piece and a Goliath. They don't.
He said, "Have you heard of giants?
Yeah.
We know a guy. So you see my spear?
Yeah.
He's the one who made it for me. I think it's time I return the favor and make him something nice."
You know a giant?
We do.
We gotta meet him. And he yells to like his grandma, and he they know a giant. He's just screaming like across the camp, drunk as a fucking skunk,
Oh.
like just like screaming. They know a giant. They know a giant.
Yeah, we'll talk to him. We'll see what he says.
Yeah, we'll tell him to come say hi.
We'll give him your number.
You guys don't know a giant.
Should crank Monos? I mean, it's not.
Good copy, good buddy. Go ahead, Go ahead, Cassius.
Hey, what you up to?
Oh, nothing. Just hanging out with some T-Lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's bringing the Giants back going?
I mean, not great. I'm doing a lot of projects and stuff. There's a lot to do.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. You said you were going to be pretty busy. Got some guys here that might want to talk to you.
What?
Figured you might use some socialization.
Like, what? Like, what?
He's pretty drunk at this time, so.
Double takes the break here so from him. But
I don't know where we're going with
yeah,
this.
Cassius is drunk. Don't worry about him. I think we're coming back to see you next.
Okay, cool. Be nice to see you guys.
Yeah, you too, Car. We'll see you in how many days?
I don't know. Off the top of my head.
See you in a few days. We'll see you in however many days Clint decides it takes us to get there.
That sounds good to me. All right, I'm going to go back to being a giant down here all alone in my giant fortress with my giant T-lock.
He says that.
Sure, why wouldn't he, right? And that's our giant friend, Carrick Mono.
That's not a giant. That sounds like a really loud dude.
Come with us.
I can't do that. I'm the lead fisherman.
You'd send a scout.
Send Grandma.
Fuck Grandma, I want to meet a
We just
giant.
kill a
Then
giant.
come with us.
I can't do that.
Who's the second in command?
I don't know. My cousin.
We just killed a giant turtle, and
Then
you
make
have
your
you
cousin
still have
head
a giant
fisherman for 2
serpent
weeks and
half
come with
left.
us.
This sounds like a head fisherman kind of job.
I think so.
Hey, Kevin! That's Kebbin, not V like Kevin.
What were those things in lava?
You're head fisherman for a week.
T-lock.
Oh yeah.
However long it takes. If I die, don't marry my wife.
You don't like the teal.
Don't tell my wife I left. Oh. Shit.
You
That's
should
how we
probably
picked
tell
up
your
on-
wife you're leaving.
That's probably a good idea.
That's how we picked up another NPC.
I'm willing to.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, we could use another Goliath. We could use some diversity here.
We need another token Goliath. The other one's not here.
Oh, God. All right. So that was session 16 of the seasonal arc, the title of which is Soup's On?
Soup's on. Yeah.
Soup's on.
Turtle soup?